It's Friday night. It's game day. We've got a big match here tonight. We've got the Sydney Swans taking on the Collingwood Magpies. Who's going to win this game? Is Sydney going to win, remain on top of the ladder, or is the mighty Magpies going to win tonight and keep their finals chance alive? They need a victory here tonight, the Magpies. And we are going to be in for one fantastic game, let me tell you that, folks. So just welcome in everybody. Good to have everybody aboard tonight for this great game. And of course, we're only 9 minutes away from the game tonight. Let me just get that a little bit straighter for everybody out there. Try and get all this set up well. Try and get all that in. Eight minutes out. And of course, there are the odds for tonight's game. We've got the Sydney Swans going in as favourite at $1.40, even though the Swans had a terrible loss last week of over 100 points. And Collingwood coming in as the underdogs at 288. I do like that 288 for the Magpies. I think that's great value. I think that's great value at 288. Of course, Collingwood have more to lose tonight than the Swans. Of course, the Swans need this victory to stay on top, as I said. But Collingwood need this win tonight, folks. Try and just bring that in a little bit. Try and get that in so it's a little bit more seeable for everybody there. Tell you what, tricks of the trade, trying to get all this straight. Ah, the fun. There we go. It's sort of getting there, isn't it? Sort of getting there, nearly there. Anyway, we'll be down to the commentators not too far away. Let's bring that down a fraction. Tilt that up a little bit. Okay, now it's looking a little bit better. All right, while I'm just playing with that, fiddling around with that, trying to get that a little bit straighter so it's all in for everyone, we might have a little bit of a look at the team lineups. Here we go. We have the ins for the Sydney Swans. We've got Rampy, Armity, Cleary, Campbell. They are your ins for Sydney, and outs go Francis, Wicks, Laddams and Corey Werner. Big out. Wow, Corey Werner is out. Caden Cleary is the sub there for Sydney. Of course, for the Magpies, we've got Joe Richards. A good inclusion, but a big out just the same is Jordan Nagoe, who went off the ground last week. Not the best, just with a little bit of an injury there. So hopefully we don't see him. Hopefully we see him before the season's out. Joey Richards, of course, is the sub. Let's have a look at the Swans. Fullbacks, Rampy, Martin, Blakey. The halfbacks, Lloyd Cunningham, Roberts. The centres, Mills, Chad Warner, the other brother, is in. Goulden, Parker, McLean, Jordan are the half forwards. The full forwards, McDonald, Armity, Hayward. The followers are Grundy, Heaney, Rowbottom. Interchange of Florin, Campbell, Fox, Taylor Adams, that is. There we go. And of course, for Collingwood, we've got the full-backs. Billy Frampton, Darcy Moore, Braden Maynard. We've got the half-backs, Noble, Jeremy Howe, and Nick Dacos. We've got Bytel, Cripps, and Dacos, Josh Dacos there in the centre line. And of course, the forwards, we've got the half-forward liners, Bobby Hill, Lockie Schultz, Jamie Elliott, and of course, the full forwards, McCreary, McStay, and Will Hoskin. Elliott, some good tall timber down there. And the followers, we've got Cameron, Pendlebury, and Sidebottom in the interchange. Lipinski, Quaynor, Long, and Mason Cox. All right, so we've got a milestone game there. And that is going to tonight, Jeremy Howe, 250th game there for the Magpies. So we wish him the best of luck, Jeremy Howe. Good luck, young man. And just having a look on the season's ladder. Look on the season's ladder. Sydney are on top. You just still try and get this a little bit more corrected for you folks out there. Sorry about that. Try and still get that a little bit straight for everyone. My gosh. There we go. So we have a look at Sydney on top. They're on top of the ladder with 3 rounds to go on 56 points. They're only half a game ahead of the Brisbane Lions. So the Brisbane Lions will be cheering on Collingwood this evening. Of course, Collingwood down there in 11th position. They are looking for a win to keep their finals hopes alive. They really do need this victory tonight. If they can win tonight, they'll jump up into 9th position, equal with 8th on the ladder with 7th and 8th. Margie TV, meow. How you going? Mega love shout out. Welcome in. We've got the footy tonight. We're covering the footy, the Sydney Swans versus the mighty Magpies. So that's what's going on here at the moment. I'm just having a little bit of a fun time trying to get this. That's where we want it. I'm just having a bit of fun time. E.T., how you going, Squire? Yo, Addy G, what's going on? Go Pies. Go Pies. I tell you what, Addy, this is never easy trying to get this straight. Trying to get this straight and all this and trying to get the angles right. What do you mean, Go Swans? No Go Swans. No Go Swans. That's we don't talk like that. Go Swans. My gosh. I know I'm moving a little bit, but holy Toledo, Batman. Oh, I'm hungry. I need a burger. Adrian, yeah, where's the burgers? Where's the burgers, Addy G? Where's the burgers? I tell you what, we're 2.5 minutes away from the bounce of the ball here for the opening quarter in this fantastic match. Look, that's about it where I've got it, I think. That's where it's going to stay. We're going to take everyone down to. Don't forget to vote. Who's going to win? Who's going to win the game tonight? Of course, so far we've got 8 votes. 38% say Sydney Swans. 62% say Collingwood. So not all. Good stuff. All right, folks. I think we should take us down now to the ground, and the commentators will have a few words. But the boys are on the ground. The boys are on the ground. They'll be taking their positions in just a moment. And of course, the umpire will toss the coin. They'll get the last 5 meetings these teams have met. Sydney have won 4. Collingwood have won 1. So there we go. Sydney seem to have got the wood over Collingwood. A little bit of tongue-in-cheek there. But tonight, I think, folks, with the form of Sydney, which is so poor, and Collingwood's form lifting to what they're normally doing, I don't see why Sydney are $1.40 favourite, Collingwood 2.88 underdogs to win this match. But we'll see soon enough. Sydney might turn their form around. Collingwood might continue on with their form last week against Carlton, which they did very well. Anyway, Sydney Swans, they're off to slow starts that we see this. In the last 6 rounds, they have lost their first quarter. So we're hoping they do the same. Hey, Arlo, how you going, Squire? Arlo Minatello, how you going? What's going on? A happy Brisbane supporter. Chris, how you going? Chris Brown, what's happening, brother? All right, I think that's enough talking out of me, and I think we need to head down to the ground and get the commentators in this game underway. Let's go, Pies.
Logan McDonald here is going back, boys.
Yeah, he spent the second half of last week in defence, 100% in defence. So
have a match up for Logan McDonald and Tommy McCartan and Dane Rampy.
Yeah, that's why I think Heaney might go forward.
Really interesting. So let's see where he goes to. The man that has been playing full forward for most of the season, going to the goal square.
Hoskinelli last week.
Heaney's in the middle. Pendlebury's there. All the big guns in the middle. There's so much at stake here. Been a long 6 days for the Swans.
Grundy gets a hand in, straight down to Rowbottom. Tumbling ball forward, Amadi, it just gets beyond him. Have to organise themselves behind the ball here quickly. The Collingwood Football Club, and the handball misses Noble. So a centre square win early for the Swans. Who we know will respond. Grundy with the palm down, and it's going to have to be thrown in again.
Interesting to see Richo McDonald, Logan McDonald, still playing that key role in defence. Not using him forward again.
So that leaves Amadi up forward and McLean. They need to hit the scoreboard tonight. Their key tools haven't been getting the job done.
Coming out the back. There's an opportunity for Warner. Snuck it forward. Good looking ball. I see more there with the late spoil. Florent, he didn't have it. In the end, it'll be a free going the way of Sydney here. And it's Hayward.
Protected area, clear out 5.
They're directly in front, 35 metres out. No doubt about it. I don't think he ever really took clean possession.
Howe's head was tucked into his back. He didn't realise that the ball had fumbled out.
The 250 gamer taking away a free early. In 9 games since the bye, Sydney have kicked 12 goals in the first quarter, conceding 40. So this is an area of importance and improvement that's required for them tonight. Will Hayward comes in. Good looking kick, no problems at all. Look at the Sydney players come from everywhere. Genuine excitement. The body language there after he kicked the goal for me says a lot.
Yeah, 100%, Brian. They win that first centre clearance. They get 2 entries. They get a repeat entry. Teams have been moving the ball easily against them, so that was a key start for them. Let's have another look at this. The problem there for Jeremy Howe was, as Luke Hodge pointed out, his head is tucked into the back there. He doesn't know the ball's come out, and unfortunately slings him to ground. A fair decision there. Important to convert. Their confidence is down early in games, and that was big.
Early territory turning into a score for the Swans. Big roundhouse right from side bottom. Warner. Grundy. He just decides to thump it forward. Straight to Cameron. Blakey gets barreled from behind.
He lost that in the lights too there. The Lizard, he put his hand up. Looks like Crisp's got a bit of a run with Isaac Heaney as well through the midfield.
James Jordan is going to Nick Dacos. Wide go the Swans. Harry Cunningham. Amadi extends, McLean at the back.
Got Hayward one-on-one. If you get in quickly, Grundy's got down there as well.
Grundy in best position here. Hayward again with a climb. Noble, nowhere to go.
I just think with those ones at times, if you've got the opportunity to go to a one-on-one quickly, go straight away. You delay it by that 2 or 3 seconds. Collingwood had a chance to get a few more numbers back.
It's going to take a while to get this one going. Cameron will knock down. Heaney dangerous. Picked up Parker. Lovely handball. Right bottom. Round the corner. Misses just.
Too many Collingwood players sucked into the contest there. Rowbottom had 15 metres on his own, 30 metres out.
Josh Dacos. Pile of traffic ahead of him. McStay. Through comes Grundy outside of the boot. Noble. McCreary. Broken up by Rowbottom. In comes Pendlebury. Noble again. It's tough and tight. Mills. Well done. And then busts along one forward free kick. Is going to go the way of Jeremy Howe.
Yeah, he had his arms wrapped around there, Luke Parker. So with that, Jordan Dacos.
The kick up the middle, Richo might just jump in here. Braden Maynard. It took a lot of courage. Maynard wanted to play on, but umpire Williamson says no, must kick over the mark.
Yeah, Jordan Hodgie will pick him up after the centre bounce.
Yeah, he's been starting half forward, then squeezing in, so they don't give up their centre bounce structure.
So Collingwood, you've got to say, just looking a little jittery here at the start, which will give Sydney great confidence, something they haven't been able to do early in first quarters, and that is a shocker in the end. Frampton tried to round it up instead of cutting it off. And they throw in the neutral ring.
This last kick to top the goal square, Hayward, I love the intensity or the attitude of trying to fight. Just take Maynard out. You got your ruckman there all by himself. Don't compete against him. Take out your opponent. Let Grundy have an uncontested mark.
Lloyd will be the tackler.
Doesn't matter.
And 4:01 for Scott Pendlebury. He'll be glad all of that stuff is over and he can move on to the next phase. Side bottom, through traffic, Roberts. Gordon was there, Grundy hovering over the top, and we'll have another ball up right on the logo.
Brody.
Well, they have certainly brought some around the footy intensity. The Swans, that's going to be a free kick for Cameron, having a very good year. Martel. Long to half forward, Blakey in from the side. Definitive spoil. It's great to see Rampy back involved in this team as well. He's heart and soul in so many ways of what the Swans do behind the ball. Rain starting to fall. McStay falls for Schultz, and he wobbles at just the wrong side of the post.
Schultz. There's Lloyd. Marty. All out from his forward post, back into the side tonight. Marty. On the line here, McLean the target. Hampton working on the more from the side. Very clear though, yeah. Just little hands in the back. And Frampton just edging McLean under the footy, fair enough. Sideways ball to Roberts, who's a good kicker of the footy. Not unlike Campbell, left footer, here it is. Good looking low ball in, Heaney perhaps being held there. And he appeals to the umpire. Says Josh Dacos had hold of me. Couldn't elevate at all, and I think he might have been right.
Well, I think John Longmire would be happy. Let's have a look at this push on McLean. 2 hands in the back, +5 contested footy. Last week early, they were smashed by 24 in the first quarter. That's a good sign.
Snap from Jordan. I reckon it's there. It is. James Jordan, goal out of nowhere. This is now looking like a very promising start for Sydney.
And this is James Jordan. We mentioned how he's got the job on Nick Dacos. He's not doing anything amazing here, but what he's doing is in front position. He's got touch and feel on Nick, but the hit has gone straight to him and he's been clean enough. As you see, there's a little bit of rain there. Grabbed it one touch, threw it onto the boot. Nick Davis could not do anything to stop that.
Well, all the bubble and excitement at the moment is with the Sydney Swans, and it's something they've lacked in the last few weeks, and Collingwood are just allowing it to happen at the moment, and this will get Sydney back into some quick form if they don't smarten up. Cox doing the ruck work. Heaney quickly. They look urgent, Sydney.
Yeah, he's been dealt with late. So that will go down to Hayward.
And Hayward here now. Opportunity to look for someone on the lead. He's too far out to score. Marty offering not much except a long contest. So he just goes the short ball on the half volley. Fox now under some real Collingwood pressure, sandwiched inside there.
Yeah, just a bad kick. That was a good little lead up there. Quaynor just sifted way back on that one. Should have been a shot at goal.
Crisp. And then side bottom, neither able to be clean.
This is way better from Sydney in that stoppage. Last week, Port Adelaide had too much space. They're battling, they're physical, they're pushing off their opponents.
Dacos, doesn't matter what the conditions are like, has got incredible skill. Just held on to as he kicked it, which allowed McCartan in. Back to Roberts.
Let's watch Sydney's ball use here. They've been pretty average out of their back half recently, turning it over a bit.
Lakey gets it on the bounce. Confronted by Hoskin Elliott. Haywood. Adams. Gobbled up by Howe.
Big sweeps back into the corridor here to Moore. Now Josh Dacos. Just looking like they've got the little things covered here at the moment, Sydney, something that you couldn't say of recent weeks.
Well, just the basics, Brian.
Yep.
The contested footy and the clearance, the stuff that they've been really poor at early.
Side bottom. If Collingwood got the answer, is Elliott. Spoiled by McCartan. Perfection. Crisp. Back to side bottom now. Just the fall away kicked inside 50. The depth on it. Lloyd in and underneath this one here. Little unlucky Campbell not to receive a free. Tried to muscle his way out, did long.
Yeah, BT, just all those basic stats about getting numbers to the ball are all going Sydney's way early. Longmire would be happy with that.
Holding. Collingwood. Wrapped around.
Wrapped around, you heard. So Cameron.
Yeah.
Josh Dacos was on short, didn't want to go there.
Pretty good season, Darcy Cameron.
Darcy, that's your line.
Really consistent now in the ruck. Marks the ball around the ground, which you love from your ruckman.
Take a good kick from here. Rain continuing to fall. He's got a short option. And that's Jack Crisp.
He's got a bit of a roll on Heaney early. Behind the goals there might tell a story.
I said it was a beautiful day in Sydney.
Well, it has been. I don't know where this rain's come from, Brian. It has been a superb day. Crisp shot on the way. It looks good. It is good. Excellent set shot from Jack Crisp. First of the night, Magpies.
Yeah. This way. Come to the mark. Come to the mark. Now, Logan, out. Dane. Nice one. Out. 10 metres out. Right, you've got to be out of the protected area. Come out. Dane.
The score review here is a matter of course.
You've got to be. It's the same thing. Come out here,
We'll
please.
see what transpires here.
It must have hit post.
Dane, come on with me.
Clear from
Thanks.
Nick Blakey, that's what it is.
No, it's a free kick. It's against Blakey. Elliott got knocked over in the replay. You could see it there. I thought it was almost an accidental knock. But there is another kick. First goal will count. And because it was after the goal was kicked and went through, Elliott gets a chance. So huge let off here for the Pies. 2 goals in 1.
Gee, that's frustrating, isn't it? For that coaching group there. Get out to a good start. You've got a 2-goal lead and you give 2 up in 1 hit. So let's have a look at this as it goes through. You can see Blakey come over and just unnecessary. Just doesn't need to happen. right in front of the umpire.
So 2 goals in the same play for Collingwood. Maynard belting it forward. Blakey goes and finds it at ground level. Well done, Campbell, working his way through traffic. McLean moved that footy well by hand. Amati standing under it. Frampton, now Heaney. Arches the back, Isaac Heaney. Kicks to a dangerous spot. Moore gets back. Can't take the mark. Adams flicking handball. Fox. Haywood. The hands in tight, extraordinary. Eventually it tumbles into the path of Isaac Heaney. Flying shot. And it's going to miss.
Well, that chain of quick handballs was sensational.
Yeah, and the pressure was great from Collingwood. They had to keep flipping it around, both teams. In fact, the pressure from both teams was great there. Neither team could get out.
Moore. Stay. Just in the middle of that from Lloyd. Hall of Fame night here last night for Sydney. Most of those players are here watching the game tonight. Paul Roos, of course, elevated to Bloods champion last night, flew back from the States, especially for the event. And we're all here tonight watching on. Been over watching the players warm up.
How good with the jackets they got, BT.
The velvet jackets.
Looks sensational.
Like Graham Teasdale's
Yes.
Brownlow winning brown velvet.
Dacos. Who? Dacos? Dacos.
Well, this is Nick Dacos.
Over our time. Stand.
That's what you're going to be keeping an eye on, Jordan and Dacos. Anything off the ball.
Frampton.
Stand.
Well, Isaac Quainer on. He decides to go further afield. Interesting choice. Fox always well placed to intercept. Goes to Adams.
Collingwood have defended this next kick pretty well so far. A lot of numbers back.
Lowers the eyes. Tries to find Warner. Jordan's there as well. Amati picks it up. And misses.
Just that kick from Frampton. You got Quaino, just hit the easy one, pass it out there, and then he can bypass the Swans defender, and off they go down the wing. Hit the easy one, keep the ball in motion. Just try to bite off a little bit too much there.
Outside 5.
10 inside 50s. Haven't been able to mark it yet.
Noble. Fox in front, strong.
Especially with those, Richo. Sydney's defence hasn't been great the last few weeks. You don't want to give them easy turnovers to build their confidence.
Move it on. Play on.
Cox looking sideways. Noble, it was barely the required 15 metres. Now Quainer in the middle. There to kick. Bobby Hill looking to get on the lead out on the fat side of the ground. Quainer hasn't got the length from there. Down the middle he comes. High ball, Hoskin Elliott trying to get there, but it's nicely done by McLean.
That's hung up.
Has, and it's going to be chopped out by McCreary. He just couldn't keep control.
Yeah, they're turning the ball over a lot at the moment out of their defensive 50 to Sydney Swans, and that was nearly another crucial one. McCreary read that really well.
Shallow throw in. Through they come. Is that touched on the line? I'm not sure it is. Long kicks the goal. Ned Long, just his 3rd career goal, and Collingwood have hit the lead.
What a weird game.
It's a weird vibe, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
subdued, isn't it?
like the
Yeah.
crowd aren't sort of into it yet.
Bit of rain around.
Very weird, the whole setup.
Ben.
So we're being told there might be a review of this. Touch through all of that. Is that a little thumb on Rowbottom? I reckon it is.
Well, long when he kicked it,
Review
did not
complete.
celebrate.
Looking at this angle, we can see the ball is touched by the left hand of the Sydney defender. Decision on the scoreboard.
Turned around.
What does that tell you, Hodgie? Just got to celebrate no matter what. And bluff them.
Well, I think Chad Warner better go over to Rowbottom and pat him on the back because Chad started on long, left him, long picked it up, could have almost got a goal if it wasn't for Rowbottom putting in that smother.
The little things that James Rowbottom does that they have missed over the last few weeks. With the backdoor is more, but they've got it compressed in their half here at the moment. Collingwood, Noble, Dacos, this is Josh.
They've turned it around in the clearances, BT. They've had the last 5, Collingwood.
Amazing. Here's Bobby Hill to Pendlebury.
There's a few holes opening up too.
There is. This game has turned all of a sudden. There is Long. Sideways ball to the better kicking Pendlebury. Scott Pendlebury giving himself plenty of opportunity. There's a target for Lipinski. Ignores that. Goes sideways to Dacos again. Just about every Swans player, bar one, are forward of where Josh Dacos stands. High footy. Cox comes at it. Had to spoil, couldn't get there for the mark. Elliott now. The front and centre a long way from the contest. Pendlebury sets up an opportunity for Long. Deep ball here for the Pies. Looking for goal number 3 of the quarter. Out the back is Bytel. Now he got boot to ball. And I don't think anyone touched it. They didn't. Just as Richo has said, the last 5 minutes Collingwood have owned at their end of the ground in the stoppage department, and they're just looking better and better.
And uncontested marks. They're just building play up. They're not rushing it inside 50. They're happy to take 3-4 uncontested marks and then get in deep like they did that time.
Tell you it's changed unless they tell us.
That was just a smart kick to the top of the goal where Fox probably should have squeezed down. He stopped and watched the ball. You've got to take your opponent there. If you give him a centimetre that far away from goal, all it takes is a boot to ball. Almost could have been touched as well, but no score review. It's a goal.
Umpire electing to throw the ball in the air. Rowbottom was held.
Hey, mate, up. Stand.
Belts it in. Ground level, and is that going to be deliberate? Yes, it is. So Parker taking shot on goal for the Swans every time it comes off the soccer boot, Richo.
It's all over.
You're worried, aren't you, at that point?
Well, Sydney are going to have to look at their forward 50 entries. 11 entries now, haven't taken a mark.
Creases the angle and finishes magnificently. Superb, Luke Parker. How professionally done was that?
It's a really good example of how to do it.
Good to see him back. He's been out of this side for a lot of this year. Had suspension, had some injury. Also, couldn't force his way in, as weird as that sounds.
Just a smart snap from Parky. Brought himself out enough. Put it through as soon as he came off the boot. He was happy. He's turned around at the 11 Sydney supporters. They're on the same page. Happy with his work. Pretty efficient football inside both ends. 450.
And he's throwing it up again.
Collingwood have scored every time they've gone in.
Rowbottom with a magnificent ball. Gee, that was a great defensive fifth from Moore. Sidebottom overrunning at Lloyd. The handball was smothered, went back and got it again. Noble did well. Under pressure, Hayward went backwards. Gee, Mills did well to get rid of it. Rowbottom again. Been involved in most things. Noble. Swift handball. Pendlebury. Not a very accurate handball. Lloyd to Rowbottom. Rowbottom doesn't waste any time. Got it all to do. Quainer could have almost given away to free. Maynard picked it up. Went straight down the middle. Grundy dropped the mark he probably should have taken. Cunningham. Warner trying to crash through. Sydney stay alive.
Misses with the return handball. Warner's got to go back and find it. Did that pretty well, but the kick Asks a lot of Mills. End on end. Cameron back in the hole.
Gee, that's important, and that's what he's doing. He's taking intercept marks, and of the contested variety, he's been doing it most of the year. More in the midfield, but that time there, that's even more important in D50.
Stand.
How's that Quainer?
Move it on. Play on.
Squeeze the ground. He's got to kick into a lot of congestion. McCreary. Roberts now in a foot race, and the boundary line wins.
So just the efficiency inside 50 at the moment. 5 entries for 5 scores for the Pies, 14 entries, 6 scores but no marks. So that'll be something they need to address going into that quarter-time break, the Swans.
Grundy, won by Mills. Cameron, Dacos back to Cameron. Advances by foot, a little lucky to McStay. They've got Cox deep. This is a low ball, not meant for him, that is for sure. And Florent could have marked it. A little bit worried about what was coming from behind, decided to spoil. Collingwood once again inside 50s. What are the inside 50s so far in this quarter, Richo?
6 now.
6-14, Sydney's way.
Elliott. Not able to keep that alive.
Stand. Ready.
Not full, but a very good crowd. Always well supported on the road, Collingwood. Grundy clean possession. Maynard came at it. Socketed it off the ground. Lipinski. Josh Dacos. Logan McDonald helps it through.
This is what John Longmire would have wanted to see from the Sydney Swans. Their intensity, their effort last week, especially early on, wasn't there. Giving them a few days off this week, you've come with the right attitude.
Well, Hayward done well already in this game. Yeah, agree with you, Hodgie. He'd be delighted at the moment.
That's always the risk and the balance of a coach. It's a short break, give them 2 days away. Does it freshen them up or does it make them relax a little bit more? But they've come with the right attitude tonight. Both teams have. Collingwood coming off a great win last week.
Jordan. Here, Jordan. Blakey, through traffic, took them on, went without the ball. Knocked away by Noble. Slippery conditions. Warner, handball to Grundy. This time Blakey. This time the kicker's smothered. Cameron's got to go. Florent went low and hard. Cameron won the day though. Lipinski. Little kick out to the running Quainer. And now Quainer from half-back.
Unloads a long one down the line. McStay parks himself under it. Blakey's covering a lot of territory. McCreary.
Cox is on.
Heads in that direction. He's got a couple to beat here, the big man. Always like the odds.
That was just a smart kick. Composed himself, looked across. Somehow Cox has slid down the fat side of the ground. It's just a nicely weighted kick. It was smart from Elliott as well, not to compete in there. Let the big fella do his work. If it dropped in ground, he was there.
Big Mason Cox. Steers it through and loves it. Efficient going forward, Collingwood. 7 scores from 9 entries. Like that, 8 entries. Even more efficient.
That's where the Sydney team decided to take off when Blakey was running through the middle. But what you got to do if you turn the ball over, as they did at centre half back, you've got to turn and run help side. And as Sydney defenders slid round, no one went from their wing. It left Cox all by himself. A massive mismatch.
Trying to irritate the crowd already is Mason Cox. Out of the middle, superb Centre clearance from Nick Dacos. Put it in the path of the inform and the running Will Hoskin Elliott. Did I hear you say he'd re-signed following the week?
Well, there was talk that he's about to. So when that happens, I think that it's normally correct. BT and gee, how big was he last week?
He's been a very good player for them. And
Can play anywhere, play in any position really.
Goulden cleverly to Heaney. Now Nick Dacos for Elliott. Gets beyond him. Quainer sneaks down and slots it. Just goal number 4 in Isaac Quainer's 106 games. And his first of the year.
So they're really getting on top in clearance now, this Collingwood team. And every time they go in, they look like scoring, and they're dangerous because they're getting it to ground level. And Quaynor just tracked that ball down. Fox wasn't goal side of him. And that is a nice goal for a defender. You feel great running back, BT.
so why was Quainer there, Richo?
Well, he's just tracked the ball down the lane, and the player that should have been goal side of him wasn't BT.
Goulden, but McCreary beats him to it with speed. Good around the corner. Deep kick on the head of McStay. And he was there. Schultz on the bottom of it. This will probably end up in another ball up here, I'd suggest, although play on is the call. Tackles being applied everywhere. Schultz muscles it out. To almost opportunity. Hill was able to get it to side bottom. Side bottom ducks the head and goes underneath. Might get it free, and he does. So Collingwood looking to kick another one here and looking for a 3-goal lead.
No surprise, still side bottom at the bottom of the pack. He's had a running role with Errol Goulden. He's kept Goulden to 1 disposal so far with 1:40 to go in the quarter while he's going for his 5th. Fair win by the old boy.
129th game for side bottom, the same as Gary Dempsey and Sam Mitchell have played, a pair of Brownlow medalists. And of course Goldstein still going on 329 as well, in good company of all-time games played. Side bottom, basically directly in front, 40 metres out. Kicker's a little left though.
Been inside 50 10 times. Collingwood have scored 9 times. That will be concerning John Longmire. Exit here for Roberts. All with brilliance.
It's 4 weeks in a row that the Swans have given up at least 5 goals in the first quarter. The key for the Pies is just to get it to ground down there. They look so dangerous when it hits the ground in forward 50.
Fox works his way to the front. Cameron was there as well.
So there, Elliott's the first one over to that ground ball. McCreary, he's always dangerous down there at ground level. Quaynor kicked his goal from ground level.
Sydney fans at the SCG not sure what to make of any of this. Strange hush. Hill trying to find Dacos. Jordan there with him.
Well, it looks to me like, Richard, they had the intent things going early, Sydney, but they haven't got their game going. Their running game off half-back is still not there.
Yeah, the execution is still not there. They were winning the ball early, but inside 50 they couldn't convert. And gradually Collingwood's got on top around the footy. Again here.
Dacos nudges the back and kicks it out of bounds on the full.
And Collingwood aren't winning a lot of aerial contests in their forward line recently, but you just know with them, if they get it to ground level, how good they can be.
Craig McRae be delighted. 9 scoring shots there. There's a couple of other misses. And he's got 20 seconds or so before he gets after them and has a bit of a chat. Taken away on that occasion by Long, tackled by Jordan, and we'll ball it up with 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Flick to the back and Roberts boot the ball. Might be out in the full, but we have run out of time. So after absorbing some early Sydney heat, Collingwood kick 5 in the last 6 and lead this game by 13 points at quarter time.
All right, quarter time, folks, here at the SCG, and it's the Magpies. The Magpies are leading 5-4-34 to the Sydney Swans, 3-3-21. The Swans came out pretty good, although Collingwood were very, very sloppy in that opening part of that first quarter. But then they got their game going. The Magpies got a little bit of run, stopped the Sydney run, and were defending well, which allows them to a 13-point lead. There we go. It's what we like to see. A lot of people out there going for the Pies today. Let's just have a quick look at the team stats, where they stand at the moment after the first quarter. And it's James Rowbottom with 11 disposals. He's top of the table there by 4 from Matt Roberts, 7. Johnny Noble for Collingwood on 7. Brodie Grundy, 7. Josh Dacos, 7, having a good game. Darcy Cameron's going well with 7 also. Isaac Quaynor, the backman for the Magpies, 6 touches. Cracker, he got down, he slotted a goal, something that he was very, very happy about because he doesn't often get the chance to put a major through for a score. Looking at the Knicks now, Nick Dacos, Nick Blakey, both with 6. Still side bottom with 5, and we'll just roll down the table a little bit and you can see your people's stats. There is the disposals here, folks. It's a little bit off, as you can see, but that is the disposals on this line here. The line we've got the cursor, the line that's a little bit dark there is it. Chad Warner, slow opening quarter from him from the Stars Sydney midfielder, just with the 4 disposals. A couple of kicks, a couple of handballs. Of course, Isaac Heaney, a little bit slow. He did look reasonably early, but then he got well held second half of that first quarter with just the 4 touches also. So we keep going down. Taylor Adams just with 3. Mason Cox with 3. Slotted the goal, the big man, so he did pretty good. Lipinski with 2. Jamie Elliott with 2. He slotted a goal for the Pies. He got sort of a cheapish type of goal. Crisp kicked a goal for Collingwood, and then through the celebrations, the Sydney player put him on his backside, so the umpire awarded him a free kick. There are the stats here. We're not too far away. We'll just have a look at the goal scorers so far. And, of course, the goal scorers, now it's lining up better. The goal scorers, Isaac Quaynor, can you believe it? He'd never think he'd be leading the goal scorers, even though he's on top with 1. All singles at the moment. And that is Collingwood goal scorers, Isaac Quaynor, Jamie Elliott, Jack Crisp, Mason Cox, Jack Bytel, and of course for the Sydney Swans, Luke Parker, who kicked a ripper banana from the boundary. James Jordan, Will Hayward for the Swans. Will Hayward, of course, being the first goal scorer of the game. Let's go back and have a look. We're still a couple of minutes away there from the bounce of the ball. So we're just going to have a quick look at the team stats here. It's pretty even, 78-86 in the disposal count. Inside 50s. Sydney Swans have had plenty of chances, but I think they're lacking in their marking inside 50s. We'll have a look at in a moment. 14 inside 50s for Sydney, just for the 6 scoring shots, whereas Collingwood have been inside 12 times with 9 scoring shots. So they are doing very well. The free kick, 7-6. Sydney by 1 there. And of course, efficiency inside 50. The Magpies well and truly on top there. 66% to 42%. The hit-outs, pretty even, 11-12 Sydney's way. Clearances, Collingwood by 4. Centre clearances, pretty even there, 3-4. So look at the contested possessions, 33-34, all going even in all categories there. Turnover, 17-15. Now, this is where they were saying marks 15-22, Collingwood by 7. But the marks inside 50, neither team have really done much there. Sydney are yet to take a mark inside their 50. Collingwood with 2 inside 50s. Now, if we have a look at the inside 50s, 14 times for no marks inside 50 for Sydney. So they'll be looking at trying to correct that in the second quarter. And of course, Collingwood just the 2 marks inside their 50 for the 12. All right. So they resulted in goals, both of those to Cripps and Mason Cox. But we're just about back down there. We've got about 50-odd seconds to go before the start of this second quarter. It's going to be a very interesting second quarter. Of course, Sydney have been slow off the mark over these past 6 weeks. We just have a quick look at the live ladder. If Sydney do lose tonight, they are still on top by half a game, with everyone else still yet to play. And if Collingwood end up winning, they'll jump up to 9th spot, equal in 7th position with Western Bulldogs, Carlton and the Pies, with the teams under Collingwood still yet to play. But that's a good sign. That's what Collingwood needs to do if they want to push ahead to finals and keep themselves alive. They do need to win this. It's both an important game for both sides tonight. All right, folks, we'll head back down to the commentators on the ground as they're about to bounce the ball for the second quarter.
Yeah, that touch is pretty important for the Swans too with that goal. This is massive. This is a massive game of footy, and after the Swans have kicked the first 2 of the night, I think Collingwood Footy Club have responded with 5 of the next 6 goals. Errol Goulden, Brownie talked about the superstars stepping up. He's had 1 possession up till quarter time here.
Yeah, on the fat side, Collingwood wingers have been pushing all the way into forward 50. Bytel gets a goal, Quainer gets a goal. They've been a great tactic.
Started beautifully, the Collingwood Footy Club. They lead by 13 points. Once again, the Swans have lost the first quarter despite kicking the first 2 goals of the game. Plenty of interest. That man there's got to get involved, Goulden, with just the 1 possession. Pies by 13. See it after.
Dacos, beautiful, off his shoelaces and around the body. Lipinski brought to ground. Heaney fires a handball at Amati. Now Jordan. Good kick. Very good mark from Luke Parker.
Playing deepest forward tonight, Luke Parker. And he was able to kick that beautiful banana from the pocket in the first quarter. This time here, he'll just go round the corner on his right leg, and he's pretty good at these as well.
For his second of the night. Again, how good. Luke Parker now has 2. A bright start to this second term for the home team.
Great turnover and tackle in the middle by Cunningham. Was able to get Sydney, kept the ball in their forward half. And I like this from Parker. He's almost doing a defensive role on Howe. Starts in behind him, and then when the turnover comes, realises there's space out to the fat side of the ground, points out there. And we know that he's smart inside forward 50. We saw the snap up the other end. Another good goal then.
Beautiful control of the footy then. On foot for Parker. Done that a couple of times already, as JB mentioned. Right bottom, the kick to Amati.
Solid. So we've got more out of there now, so I wouldn't be waiting.
Amati, a very, very high ball in here. McLean!
And that's the sort of long kick you want, Brian. Straight away. Go quickly. You've dragged Darcy Moore out, one of the good intercept defenders of recent times. Just reel and go. You know you've probably, most likely, got one-on-ones back behind the ball there, and you have 3 one-on-ones. Quaynor was trying to get there. Couldn't, because he went quickly. He waited a couple of seconds, Quaynor gets there.
Having a bit of a chat as well in the follow-up there, just to get them back within a point. A great start for Sydney to the second quarter. McLean from point-blank range, no problems at all. What a second quarter start.
Sit up.
Richo, this is a big one from Frampton. You've got to keep him outside, keep him towards the pocket. You can't let him do a loop and run back in so we can get a flight, a dangerous spot.
And the other thing there, Hodgie, you mentioned before the role of Parker on Howe. Just tied him up. We know how good Jeremy Howe is at coming in and spoiling or intercepting. Parker just kept him busy.
Cameron. No real purchase on the ball.
Hang on. You.
Just gets beyond Roberts. McCreary so dangerous, goal side. They win a pretty good ball there, Sydney, although Mills is going to have to tidy it up. He did superbly well. Warner stepping through, gets to Blakey. Now Heaney's going to be claimed. Warner draws a real crowd. Great tap on from side bottom. Isaac Quainer. Inside 50 in the Elliott direction. It gets beyond him. Cunningham. Outside of the boot. And the fist will see the ball go over.
Just with Chad Warner there, just closing down his space. We're used to seeing him run with the ball and be able to get clear and then kick long. That's his game. He's been forced into handballing it a lot tonight, more than he wants to. He's had 2 kicks and 4 handballs. He's got to close down his space, and they're doing that well.
Cameron on the in front. Side bottom. Funny little handball. I'm not sure that it was legal. Henry, Blakey, stolen here by Long, trying to funnel it out to Dacos, to Elliott. The punch away was good from the big fella McDonald. It was interesting to see what Jamie Elliott did a moment ago in being able to get out of the way quickly. Now, I think we're going to see this happen a lot more in football. No point getting hurt, Richo, if you don't need to be hurt. Put yourself in a position to win the ball is probably the way to go.
Sitting duck there.
It's an unusual thing to say, I know. Schultz around the corner didn't get the depth on it, but I think that's the way modern footballers are thinking this day.
If you're sitting under one for a long time, you know that there could be a knee coming into your rib cage, BT. We've seen what's happened this year.
McDonald.
You know when you really have to. There's moments when sometimes you probably don't need to.
Lloyd did well at ground level. Warner getting busy. Grundy's got to park himself under this. He'll get a free kick.
Although, BT, I reckon most coaches still want you to go most of the time. And I know you definitely get what you're saying there, though.
Grundy release. Kicks too strong. Turnover. In a really dangerous spot, Pendlebury. McStay. Cox is the deepest forward. The ball was too heavy for him.
Rampy did well then. I thought he was definitely going to give away front-on contact there with that huge height difference to Mason Cox.
Gonna go in the square.
We'll have to come all the way back to the kick in.
We can't kick it from outside the
This
square.
one here from Warner, just give the feedback. Can't even sit in the right position for you. Do a risky kick into the corridor. It works, but just give a simple one to your teammate.
All the way back to Roberts.
This looks like a bit of a confidence thing with Chad Warner at the moment.
There, Kyle.
The lead. Bringing offers the lead. Goes to the one-on-one. And the height for Hayward over Melville was obvious. Desperate to get it back inside. Couldn't find the target then. It was almost to Roberts. He's wide instead. Back to Hayward. He has to just slam it on the boot. Get as many metres as he can. Frampton backing back. Jeremy Howe was there. Rowbottom went and got it to Heaney. Heaney sold some candy very nicely. Back into Warner. This will do his confidence the world of good. So Warner makes it 3 Sydney goals in a row to start this second quarter. And a lead of 4 points.
Talk about the pies and ground balls in their forward half. Have a look at this from Rowbottom. In traffic, clean, pick up. Gets it to Heaney, who's got to be clean as well. And as BT called it, that'll do his confidence the world of good. But Rowbottom has been outstanding so far tonight. 13 disposals, 4 clearances, and he made something out of nothing there.
3 in a row to start this second term for the Swans. Dacos to his brother. Rampy, too good in the air for Elliott. Extraordinary footballer Dane Rampy's been. Played pretty much his whole career as a tall defender, which he actually isn't. Rowbottom, too high on Josh Dacos. And wide is side bottom.
Outside 5. Play on.
Back by foot to Bytel.
Back Bytel. On the line here. A straight ball. Knocked away there by McDonald. Gets a congratulations to Tom McCartan there. Do you think that McDonald key defensive thing is becoming more permanent, Richo?
No, I don't think he's going to be a forward, but I think it's just out of necessity at the moment, BT.
There's McLean, Cameron. Beautifully run onto it with Jordan. And it's a Rowbottom. He chips the ball out wide of Marty. Tries to get some separation with Frampton. Not really successful. Kept alive, but Fox couldn't control.
I like this from the Collingwood ruckman. Cameron just looking after. Jordan's getting into Dacos off the ball, making sure he can't run or freely get to the ball. So Cameron's just looking after his number 1 midfielder. It's great to see.
And when Milliken gets back, I reckon he goes forward. BT,
Right.
McDonald, yeah.
Dacos with the clearance. Gets past Rampy. Lipinski. McCreary. Bobby Hill's run on. Doesn't want to go there.
He's making out. He's having a shot. Bo.
It's a nice little hole about 15, 20 metres out. Hengy's getting into it.
The setup kick. All Sydney in the air. Out of play. We used to question, BT, whether it was an actual 50 here at the SCG.
We did. We actually measured it one day.
And it was.
It was. We actually took a tape measure out there and measured it one day.
I thought the 50 used to nearly did run into it at one point. No?
It's strange. Right. Maybe they've found a bit of length somehow.
Well, when they built that the new stand, is it the Bradman stand down there? I'm
Pretty sure the
seen
50's definitely crossed over the centre square years ago.
It's close.
Might be feet then.
It's strange because I think it originally was a square of 45. Then it was still touching the 50. And all of a sudden we've got a gap
Going to
there.
bring it in a couple. Daniel Hayden.
Now that magic has happened, but there is the Bradman stand you speak of. On into the ground. That's had a bounce in the full. That kick. Within range. Collingwood players appealing for it everywhere. Who's going to get it? Bobby Hill, Jack Crisp or Dacos?
That's smart. Left footer. Always get the left footer from that pocket.
Yeah.
Mind you, I probably would have made Bobby Hill to kick it as well.
And I reckon that's what Jack was saying. I'm a left footer. It's a 25-metre kick. He's going to run around, try and screw it around, and he's preferred left. Blakey's going to come at him a million miles an hour. He's ready to go. It's an easy kick post. When I say easy, in fluent fashion, I meant.
It's pretty high percentage now, isn't it? That kick for these players.
Roberts gets closed down and decides to float one up. Okay for McDonald. Braden Campbell. Isaac Heaney getting busier. That's not his best kick. Jeremy Howe, magnificent aerialist, was always going to easily take that. Now to the skipper. Long in the McStay direction. Good mark, Cox.
They got Grundy and McDonald down 30 metres out. That's why he's gone to the pocket.
Moving deep to the pocket. Directed at the end. And contested mark away of Campbell.
I like the idea to not go straight to where the two tools were, but it probably would have been smarter going maybe at 20 metres close towards goal where they had McStay tool to put on a contest.
Well, in the folly direction, and it appeared to hurt his back there a moment ago.
It took a long time, Hodgie, because he was sort of walking back looking to give a handball off. That did allow the numbers to get back.
Still got that sore back, Fox, and just supporting. Looks like he's reasonable shape though. If we throw in here, Cox comes on to do the ruck work. Grundy outdoes him. Lloyd. Campbell didn't get over the top. The interception by Pendlebury. Now the kick inside 50. Blakey soars over the top. McCreary trying to track him down. Got a sharp handball away. Can they get it going through the middle here, Sydney? Warner's handball straight to Dacos. This is Josh. And out wide, he finds Bytel.
Hit up target is Elliott. Now Pendlebury, the veteran.
Good hands here, JB.
Yeah, the 400 gamer.
He can create things.
Only one player in the comp we can describe as that. Goes for Cox in the air. Good hands.
And that kick was as good as a low daisy cutter, JB.
Just this, he weighted it perfectly for Cox to get that run and jump at it.
Bit of banter between Mason and Brodie Grundy.
As you'd expect. Still took a great contested mark, but it allowed him to get that run and jump. He didn't put too much on it. He didn't kick it on his head.
As you can see, already has one. Give Collingwood back the lead. Never ever got anything on that. It was almost a McStay mark. Now McCreary can finish the job. First of the night for Beau McCreary. And Collingwood do have back the lead.
Dreary to get onto that, kick it around the corner. And back to the middle we go. Collingwood in front. Grundy shoveled it out the back door, did it well. Long dribbled along the ground. Campbell will kick off here to Roberts. Roberts to Mills. Noble there with him. It's 2-on-1. Heaney found speed. The smother was good. Crisp. Handball in. Hope that one back and put Noble back under pressure. That Crisp game 2:35 tonight. It's been 10 years since he missed a game of football. 10 years.
That's incredible. Resilience, longevity. Heaney. Is he back? No.
That's the way
top of the padding.
That's the way things are going for him, JP. That looked awful. I was going straight through 3/4 of the way there and just had that little bend.
First 10 rounds of the year, it was going through every single time. He'll be back. He's a champion. Ball carries everyone and then sits for McCreary. No.
Errol Goulden. He's been on the field for 45 or so minutes. The side bottoms kept him still to the one disposal. No one's been able to do this all year to that man.
One touch, Errol Goulden. One touch, Ollie Florent. Will Hoskin-Elliott for Collingwood. One touch. Cameron. On the ground here is Goulden. Little handball out to McCartan. McCartan to row bottom. Chris closed in quickly. Didn't give him time to think.
Guys, Nick Blakey just made his way to the bench after this last incident as well. He's just in the hands of the physios now, but doesn't look overly comfortable.
Pendlebury floats a handball forward. Roberts. We see the doc attending to Nick Blakey. Ankle bent underneath him. And that hurts. I say this all the time, when it's a soccer off the ground, there is zero room to move.
Keep going. 5 more metres out.
I think that's what Steele was trying to sort of say to him. The umpire have none of it.
Goulden. Almost Parker. What about that magnificent pickup from Adams? Goes forward, it's slapped over.
Brody, Darcy over here.
Craig McRae. Good travelling side, Collingwood. The travel record over a long period of time now is better than anyone's in the comp. Heaney's kick smothered mid-air. A long little kick out. Hoskin Elliott's got to go. Didn't pick it up. Schultz looking for some overlap run. Found it in Chris. Chris with a little low ball. Gee, it was well done by Florent. Collingwood are on their way if Florent didn't get a hand in there. And now look what happens as a result. Warner gathering, getting around one. There's a bounce involved. And Marty, the forward to finish. This would be their play of the day. He misses. Warner just cutting his way through.
Just a few times tonight you think that Sydney are off and getting that game going of theirs, and it's just been a hand in from Collingwood. 6 smothers they've had, only 1 to Sydney. It's just their pressure they're renowned for.
Grundy, a big thump. Pretty well controlled by side bottom. Great smother on McCreary, but it sits back for him. Schultz has it thumped away from him. Side bottom to centre half forward. Really tough ball to handle, and Florent was superb. Amadi nicely presented the ball by Hayward.
You can't get fast balls down the line.
There is more.
Well done, Fox.
Fox happy to see it out.
Darcy was sitting in his perfect spot. Marty was smart, held up, let Fox to come. Make more accountable, then was able to bring it to ground.
Darcy. Sydney, Joel.
Just under 7 minutes to the half-time break. And a 3-goal to 1 quarter in favour of Sydney. Responded well. Amadi out of the ruck. High balls it. That'll be out of bounds on the full. Not a lot of flow. Sydney have threatened a couple of times here through Warner in this quarter.
No, stay out. Play on, play on.
To really get that run and gun game going. Wide to Darcy over the back. McCartan, Goulden was in front, got the little kick back into a dangerous spot here. Nick Dacos had to go and disguises it over the line and out of bounds.
Brody, Darcy.
3-goal to 1, second term for Sydney. Suddenly feels like it's tough for any team to get real ball movement happening. Frampton. Maynard.
Stand, Isaac.
Grundy took that out of the ruck there. Might have been a little handball there to Goulden to try and get him into it. He wrapped around Goulden. Grundy just hack kicked it to the intercept. 6 and a bit left. Blakey just battling to get that ankle back moving, such a vital part of what Sydney do.
run and gun BT was just talking about. Not 15, so Warner clobbered in the tackle.
Play on, not 15.
Again, not 15. Schultz, a quick release. Inside go Collingwood. McCart. Was he claimed by Hoskin Elliott? He certainly thought so. Ball drops for long, just couldn't hang on. Doesn't matter, because Hill comes through and he misses.
You can see Horsebury upset. This is McCartney. You've got to use your teammates. Just feed it back to Roberts. He's had a lot of the ball. Give it back to him and let him make a decision. Lucky that wasn't a goal.
Fox. Ball went out of bounds, by the way. And the umpire couldn't see it.
And now he's been napped, Billy. Yep.
But it was actually out of bounds. Fox able to play on. There's a Marty. Bundy there as well. More with big fist. Goulden advanced it. Jeremy Howe, the 250 gamer. Very, very wide. Hoskin Elliott there, the touch. Through the gates he goes.
Nick Blakey's on the gates and ready to come back in, so he's just had that left ankle re-strap, so that's good news for Swans fans.
There he is, the Lizard. They need some of his pace and bounce off half-back. The flow of this game's just dried up a little bit. Here comes Crisp. At the back, Cunningham read it best. Wide to Florin. Mills, taken out of his hands. Little one is not good. And Warner can get and go. Rowbottom. Floating ball to Amadi, drops a chest mark. Moore. Missing with the handball, Maynard. Warner goes back and gets it. Two Swans collide in pursuit of the ball. Amadi taking the ground by Noble and holding the ball.
Just outstanding pressure again. Even Warner, how many times this year has he got the ball in that situation at half-back, but the Collingwood defence push up at him, make him handball again.
The Collingwood, they're just congesting that midfield. They can't move the ball through there, Sydney. Whenever they get the ball free, they can't run through there either.
To Vitel. The stop-start opportunity here for the Pies. Vitel, Hybel, Cameron. Clean to spoil Hoskin Elliott, the tackler, locks it in, and they'll get a stoppage inside 50 here, the Pies. 3:21 to half-time.
Thanks, mate.
This quarter, make no mistake, has been owned by Sydney. They have looked the better team in this quarter. Through traffic was McCart, just a brilliant player to kick under pressure though. Down the throat of Cameron here for the Pies.
Short one finds Bartel. Elliott didn't want to go to him. Points. He's going to go longer into the pocket. That's where he heads. Cox couldn't elevate the arms at all. Deep boundary throw in though for Collingwood.
Look for an Elliott or a Dacos to get on the move. They'll try and put a block off one another. Crisp in the mix as well.
Very capable ruckman is Mason Cox. Rowbottom went without. There is Elliott.
Sydney last week were terrible in some of these defensive 50 stoppages. That then, they were excellent. They were physical. They were pushing their opponent. They were doing handovers. They were communicating.
Crisp is the one they're particularly concerned about here, isn't he?
The left footer rolling around, but he's trying to work with Dacos. Elliott's in there as well.
Just one of them will get out of the loop. Not quite sure in the end. Probably Dacos just out the back there. A real winner though. Side bottom. And Goulden ensures the ball goes over the line.
The fact that they're working together there, you'd think that, one of them, they've got another chance now, 3 stoppages in a row.
All it takes is one defender just to drop his concentration for a second.
So again, Crisp is getting over to him.
McLean is now against Cox. Little fumble from Elliott. Rampy. Roberts. 5th stoppage in the same part of the ground. Dacos! Dacos! Not quite.
4 stoppages in a row, it nearly happened. But that just shows you the pressure builds.
I think the ball was juggled over the line.
Sorry, umpire's call is touch behind. Please confirm.
That is a behind.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball was juggled across the scoring line. Decision on the scoreboard.
Let him run.
Done well the score reviews in this game so far. Picked up a couple. And otherwise would have been goals. Worked beautifully. And here is Nat Roberts, 25 for this youngster. With a booming left foot. Kick very wide. The one-on-one. Amadi and Maynard. Maynard a hold of the jumper. And Amadi the free. Plenty of options there. Adams leading late, ignores that. In the end, McLean's the target. Jeremy Howe in front did well to bring it to ground. Ground level ball, side bottom. Still playing really well, side bottom. Had 12 touches in this game to date.
And a magnificent negating job on the dangerous Goulden. There he is again. Crisp confronted by Grundy, who carefully tackled him.
Thanks, Brody. Thanks, Jack. Brody. Brody. Darcy.
Still side bottom. Extricating the footy. Gave it to Hoskin Elliott. Cox. And McCartan.
Side bottom again. It's his 14th touch. Body positioning on Goulden has been excellent, and then his work rate off him as well.
Lock up. There he is again, Steele side bottom. He's been enormous. Inside 50 he goes. It's going to be marked by Logan McDonald.
Goulden's just sort of reactive now to side bottom. He's the proactive one.
Rampy. In the lineup. Noble with the fist. But locked away in the forward end here for the Pies. Bobby Hill being optimistic. He's going to win that free. And by Andre Gianfagna saying, no way, Bobby. So just under the minute remaining here in the half in what hasn't been a fantastic quarter of football to view. Nevertheless, game is tight. Collingwood by just 3 points. Plainer, who kicked the goal in the first quarter of this game, little socket of the boundary line and keeps it rolling, and wow, I'm not sure how he's supposed to control that. Kick to Florent, mark down low.
As you said, BT, anytime it's socket off the ground, it almost doesn't matter what's going on. Insufficient attempt will be called. There's a late one possible here for the Swans. Parker, already got a couple of Marty. Back to Parker. Blakey can load up on the left. Fans it wide, and Goulden can't keep it in.
He's frustrated, and so he should be there. Side bottom goes to ground, and he just needed that ball to sit up, Errol. So it's one of those nights so far. Still half the game for him, though.
Final seconds of this first half. Elliott. As the seconds tick down, there we are.
Friday night footy on Fox is brought to you by Industry Super Funds, and when it comes to super, there's only one symbol to look for: low scoring affair, tight arm wrestle. The Swans hit back into 3 First goals of the second quarter. McCreary kicks one late for the Collingwood side, and they go in at half-time, 3 points up. A bit of an arm wrestle, really, boys. Jonathan Brown, Nathan Buckley and Jordan Lewis.
Relatively high scoring, though, with slippery conditions, Bucks.
It wasn't until that last 15 minutes. I mean, a bit of an arm wrestle is an understatement. It's a lot of an arm wrestle. There's matchups everywhere that we'll have a look at. 24 inside 50s each. Disparate ways that they're trying to move the ball. The wet conditions, the slippery conditions seem to be suiting Collingwood, but at the same time, Sydney have been able to score and defend well enough.
That's what we expected, though, didn't we? Pre-game, we expected finals type pressure, and with a little bit slippery conditions, that's going to invite a bit more pressure.
Price pressure got up around 200, which was a fair result.
Yeah, and there's a few signs to like. I think Warner's he's slowly starting to build into the game. He's starting to find a little bit more
more
space.
interested going one way than the other.
He's a lot more interested going one way or the other. Kick the goal, so he's getting involved on the offensive threat. But there's not much time and space out there tonight. Maybe due to the weather, and also due to the pressure on both sides.
Tell me about the contrast in game styles, Nathan, and is it weather-driven or not?
Look, I think Collingwood are definitely going with a more territory brand of football. They're prepared to kick the ball, even if it's to space or the outnumbered contest, and then to try and hold territory from that. Sydney look to be trying to handball through Collingwood's pressure a little more. So Collingwood are nearly at 2.5 kicks for every handball. Sydney are really close to a 1-to-1 handball side at the moment. So evidence, would generally tell you, and if you see a couple of times there, that Sydney were trying to get through with hands, but then Collingwood's pressure, you got the ball back, and that resulted in a goal there. And there was an occasion early in the or middle in the second quarter here, and Sydney have got through a couple of times, so we've got to acknowledge that. But Collingwood's pressure here comes forward. Sydney trying to overpossess in many ways rather than taking yards.
They're going out of their way to use the ball by hand.
Yeah, I think so. They're really dictated to, I think, what their half forwards are doing. We saw in the first quarter, Parker was on Howe and he was back shotted, and then countless times Sydney looked up. No one there, overused the ball, which allowed those Collingwood players to come and pressure.
They take a leaf out of Hawthorn's book a couple of weeks ago.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, that was a wet game. Hawthorn used nearly 1-to-1 handball, but the handball was actually in open space, and they were 10 to 15 metre handballs, putting that player into more space rather than just hot potato stuff inside.
Matchups everywhere. It's in a football style that we've come to appreciate over the past few years, where everyone just runs around and gets their own ball. There's been so many matchups, and this one has been the most effective from a Collingwood point of view. The other ones can be a bit transient, but this one's been a hard lockdown.
It does seem unlikely from the outside.
Well, before the game you said Steele Sidebottom's going to have 15 and Errol Goulden 6 head to head. He's
a little bit frustrated, Goulden, too.
He is a little, you picked it up on the effects, Mike Slade, but Steele's still running to get the ball when Collingwood have the ball in their hands. And his teammates, Steele's teammates are covering Goulden if he's not on him, but then Steele's coming from a long way to find him in transition.
Alistair Lynch is at the ground. He's keeping a close eye on this one, Lynchy. He's got the points, Steele Sidebottom.
Oh, absolutely. And as Buck said, one of the really pleasing aspects for Collingwood is when Steele Sidebottom gets lost in transition, then because Errol Goulden, I must say, he's running extremely hard. If he doesn't rack up record Ks today, I'd be staggered. But he's working hard. So if Steele Sidebottom loses him, the likes of Nick Dacos and Josh Dacos will drop onto him. And also, when you see Goulden running through the middle of the ground, if Maynard's there or even Howe, they block him and just make it a really hard contest for him. But I must say, towards the end of that last quarter there, Goulden was working very hard. So Sidebottom's struggling to keep up at times. Obviously dominating around the stoppage, but he's getting a big help from his teammates, which is pleasing. Goulden's only had the one inside 50 kick. So that's a big win for Collingwood. So they're dominating that aspect of the game so far.
They are indeed, and they take the Dacos v James Jordan matchup too. Our Harvey Norman highlights are always going to be centred around Nick Dacos, and he was a little quiet for the first 15 minutes of the game. Jordan had kicked the goal and he'd had 3 touches. We've arrived at half-time, he's had 15 possessions and 9 clearances.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff tonight has been done in and around the stoppages, you're right. He's only had the 2 inside 50, so it has been around clearance, and where he's been able to lose James Jordan in congestion, he's getting a lot of support from his teammates as well. The big ruckman blocking for him and supporting him, but this is where he's doing his damage, just releasing the outside players.
Forward of the ball, 10th player in this season to record 9 clearances in the first half. So he's a phenomenal player. What about the Parker Howe matchup? The other end of the ground, Parker's been able to hit the scoreboard.
I'm glad they've put Parker forward. I just feel like they're going to be more potent there, but also as a general there and a director and some leadership down there, especially with Papley not there. He's played on Howe, did a pretty good job, really. You know what Howie can do, but Howie's positioning is always problematic for the opposition forward line, and Parker's just stayed at home with Howe and keeps him committed.
Yeah, Sydney have had a real focus on making sure Howie's generally the longest defender, so they're not going to allow him to stand alone as the longest defender. They're more than happy, and usually Howe would be sitting there in the own. You roll up on the loose defender. But you can see the loose defenders more in Frampton. They're playing 2v1, one kick away from the stoppage, and Sydney are happy to take that with the extra Collingwood defender halfway between the deepest and the stoppage rather than the deepest.
In the half of footy with only 6 goals or scored, he's kicked 2. I think it's a big win for them and really important for Sydney that he gets game time heading into September. Rowbottom and Pendlebury hasn't been a hard matchup. It's been 2 blokes playing each other with
only 2 left over. The other matchup.
Looked around and said, what else we going to do? You two can go at it. Rowbottom was outstanding early in this game. Buck spoke about the fact that he talked the talk and walked the walk, and Scott Pendlebury's worked his way into the game. So it's an interesting contest from the point of view that they've all squared off and numbered off, and away they go.
You see Pendlebury trying to get across to Isaac Heaney at times as well. So it's a little bit of a ring of rosy. But this is what you get in finals. You try and take the weapons of the opposition away as much as you're trying to execute your own game, and that's what we've witnessed through the first half.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great to watch. Unfortunately, the conditions are a little bit slippery, but we just love the arm wrestle, don't we? That's what we expect. You've got to find a way. And hey, let's remember, Sydney beaten by 112 points last week. So they've had a response.
They're in the contest. So good stuff, boys. Let's take a break at the very latest from Sportsbet.
All right, folks, half time. While the commentators are just off for a moment, we'll have a look at this. The second quarter, the Sydney Swans put on 3 goals, 2 to the Pies. Well, the Pies only put on 1 goal, 4. Inaccuracy kicking there, but still the Pies lead by 3 points at half-time here at the SCG. Christina, how you going? Welcome in. Thanks for coming. Al's Adventure Vlogs, how you going, Squire? Yeah, look, you know what? You're still going to be playing finals, so it's all happy days. Remember, finals football is different to home and away footballs. Things can change pretty quickly. It's a whole different ball game when that comes. All right, let's just have a little bit of a look at the player stats here. Let's see who's on top so far. And it's the man of steel, Steel Sidebottoms on 15 possessions. He's had a good quarter. Fantastic with 15 disposals, so he is going very well. 8 kicks, 7 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles, 3 clearances. One of the better games we've seen him play for a little while. James Rowbottom there with 15, only the 4 disposals in the second quarter. Is the best for Sydney with 15, and Matty Roberts with 15 also. For Sydney Swans men's team grand final, I think, you know what, I actually think Brisbane might are the team to beat at the moment. I think Brisbane are the team to beat at the moment for the grand final. I think their form is just so consistent. All their players are going well. They're playing like a good team at the moment. They're playing it at the right end of the season. So I think, Brisbane is definitely the team to beat at the moment. But, you know, as I said, once the home and away season is complete, and the finals start, that's a whole different ball game. Then we'll see what comes out, because that's when the full pressure gets applied. You will never see the Sydney Swans men team win a few grand. I don't know. I tell you what, it's hard to win one, let alone 2 or 3. You know, it's definitely getting harder and harder these days. Chad Warner had a little bit better second quarter there, up to 13, and tried to get a bit of his run happening there. So still looking for a big second half out of Chad Warner. Scotty Pendlebury up to 12 there. Not too bad with 7 kicks, 5 handballs. Isaac Heaney still a little bit slow in the second quarter. Still been held reasonably well there with just the 12 disposals. Joshy Dacos there with 11 with Isaac Quainer. Let's keep going down. Nick Blakey there with 11. Got his foot stood on. Had to go off and get a little bit of treatment. I think he came back onto the second quarter late there again, so he's back on the ground. We'll see how he performs in the second half. Brodie Grundy there doing a good job there. 10 disposals. He's had 4 kicks, 6 handballs. He hasn't had any marks. He's had 3 tackles. He's had 22 hitouts. Let me just try and slot that over. It's still a little bit crooked, isn't it? All right, that's okay. That's right. This is the line we're looking at for your players' disposals. Darcy Moore with 12. John Noble's having a reasonably good game there, as with Jackie Cripps. Will Hayward there, still just the 8 disposals. Still with the 1 goal, first goal scorer of the game. Lukey Parker. Yeah, quietish type of game, but as I said, he did kick that great goal from the boundary. 6 touches, 3 kicks for 2 goals, 3 handballs. Who else we got down the bottom? Errol Goulden, only the 6 touches. I tell you what, that's a quiet first half. Being well held by still side bottom there. So side bottom on top there of Goulden, who wouldn't be used to having such a quiet first half of a game of football. Taylor Adams, pretty much similar with him. He's only had the 6 touches, so some of their guns are a little bit quiet there also. Bobby Hill, another one, hasn't done a great deal tonight. Always looks promising. Hit the post on 1 just with the 5 touches, 2 kicks. He's hit 1 behind. And that is all your stats. Let's just go across and have a look at the goal scorers. We'll go and have a look at the goal scorers. We'll go and have a look at the goal scorers. Who are the goal scorers? The leading goal scorer on the ground, of course, is Luke Parker, the only one with multiple goals there with 2 goals. Chad Warner, he's knocked up there with 1. McLean with 1. James Jordan with 1. Will Hayward with 1. That's Sydney. And for the Magpies, all singles to Isaac Quainer, Beau McCreary, Jamie Elliott, Jack Crisp, Mason Cox and Jack Bytel. Now, if you play the AFL fantasy points, let's have a look who's leading the way there so far. And that's Matty Roberts for Sydney. He's on 62 points. Steele side bottom, next best on 58 points. Scotty Pendlebury, 53. Brodie Grundy, 51. Mason Cox, 51. And the rest are under 50 points. Oh, let's go and check out the team stats. 6 minutes to go before the opening bounce of the second half here, folks. And as soon as the commentators come back, we'll put you back there, down there. All right, let's have a look at the disposals. As we say, it's a pretty even game here. 169, 172. The kicks, Collingwood's way by 22, but the handballs going Sydney's way. Inside 50s, it's even itself up a little bit more there. 25 inside 50s for Sydney for 11 scoring shots, whereas the Pies have been inside 24 times for 14 scoring shots, doing quite well going inside 52 their scores. Disposal efficiency, both teams are a little bit below. 66 for the Swans, 64 for Pies, both around that 5-6% below. They both need to pick up a little bit there. The efficiency inside 50, Collingwood are doing a little bit better there. They're about 12% up on their season's average at 58.3, and the Swans are just about on. They could lift that margin up a little bit. Free kicks, the Swans there by 4, 12-8 going their way. There have been a couple of free kicks given for deliberate out of bounds when it's come off the boot of a player. I think that must be something the umpires have been instructed to do, is if a player goes to try to kick it forward and it goes out of bounds, no matter how hard the kick is, or he's trying to kick it round the corner or something like that, it's just been given with no intentions on a free kick to the opposing side. Stoppages, the hit-outs 26-24, to the difference to the Swans. The clearances 26-19, Collingwood there by 7. Centre clearances, look at that, all tied up. 6 apiece. 6 and 6. Stoppage clearances, Pies by 7 there, 20-13. Contested possessions, all pretty even there, 79-69. Uncontested, that's pretty close as well. Only the 9, the difference heading that way to the Swannies. And the turnovers 33-31, both turning it over. roughly about on season's average for both teams. Possession, time in possession for the match, well, Collingwood are about 9% up on the percentage, and of course Collingwood had the ball a fair bit more. The last 10 minutes of that second quarter, 33% to 14%, of course the rest getting balled up, etc., all that type of thing. So look at the marks now. Marks 34-44, Collingwood holding the ball better by 10 times. Marks inside 50. Both teams struggling to find a mark inside 50, just the 2 to the Swans. They had 0 at quarter time, but they've got 2 now inside 50 marks, and of course Collingwood with 3, who only got 1 for the second quarter. Both teams well below season's average. They'll try to be looking to find their targets a little bit better, try and find a little bit of space, get their leading targets coming at them, so they've got a chance at that mark. Contested marks 5 to 6. Not a great deal there happening. Defensive tackles 29 to 31, both on season's average, both doing the same. Tackles inside 50, Collingwood a little bit stronger there. 11 to 4 for the Swans, and of course the bouncers 5 to 1 to the Swans, and the 1%ers, Sydney Swans doing a fair bit better in that 37 to 17. Well, let me just roll this back up. So at halftime here at the SCG, as the Magpies leading by 3 points at 6-8-44, the Magpies 6-5-41. The Sydney Swanners, we've got 3 minutes to go until the bounce of the ball to get this second half underway. We just have a look at that live ladder at the moment again, and of course Sydney do lose tonight. They will stay on top of the ladder, but just a half a game clear of their nearest rival, which is Brisbane. And of course Collingwood will jump from, I think it was about 11th up until 9th, equal 7th on 48 points with the Bulldogs and Carlton. As I said, all other teams yet to play this weekend, the ladder will change. If Sydney happen to win this game, they'll go a game and a half clear and will look like the minor premiers for the season, with only 3 rounds to go, this round and 2 more after this. So we're in for an exciting season. Still, the top 8 is still yet to be decided, as we can see down the bottom here. Even all the way down to 11th is a possibility to make the top 8 come finals time, which will be happening not too far away. In about 4 weeks' time, we'll have the first of the finals, which I tell you what, folks, that is something you don't want to miss, because the finals this year are going to be something out of the box. They're going to be fantastic. All teams are in pretty good form. Anyone can win this year. As who plays better on the day is going to take home the Gold Cup or the Silver Cup, Premiership Cup at the end of the year. There we go. So all you folks out there, if you are interested in having a little bit of a look at the MCG, I did do a video on a day out of the football. I have that link pinned at the top, a day at the football. That's one of my vlogs that I did when I went to the football. So if you're interested in having a little bit of a look at the football, bit of the crowd, the MCG here in Melbourne, then that is a good video for you to watch. And it'd be much appreciated if you want to give that one a little bit of a watch for us also. All right, the commentators are back. Let's go and see what they have to say, because we're only about half a minute away from the bounce of the second quarter. Hey, Jamar, the stats man. How you going, brother? What's happening? What's happening? We're going to head back down to the ground for the second half. AFL action, the SCG. The players in the huddle, they're about to leave and get back into their positions. Let's get down there for the second half.
Touch has probably been the one key for that's been jumping in the ball. You're right. So
Cameron behind the ball has looked good.
Yeah, he has. Yeah,
so the small play like McCreary's, like that speed and his ground level cover's been excellent. Do Swans have enough players to come up and step up and put that high pressure on to create enough opportunities in their front half?
I think what I'm looking for is, do they stick to the plan? And this is probably both sides, or do they get seduced by probably taking a bit more risk through the middle of the ground, trying to break the game open, or do they embrace the contest and the fight?
Yeah, and the emotion that you saw there was early in the game. They celebrated long and hard in that first game. Can they find that sort of emotion again and energy the second half, the Swans, because I know that Collingwood will continue.
Yeah, the early domination was built on that contest and pressure around the contest, wasn't it? And then Collingwood got back into the game. So start with the fundamentals once more.
3 points of margin in favour of the Pies. Massive half of footy. Collingwood season on the line. The Sydney Swans' top spot could be taken off them if they can't get across in this second half. We'll see it at three-quarter time.
Massive for both of these clubs. Been an interesting battle. Grundy and Cameron. Side bottom's been magnificent. And Elliott gets on the end of it.
Jamie, that's your line. Yeah, he's on it.
Early on in the term, obviously, so no fatigue issues for one of the game's best sharpshooters. Give Collingwood a ripping start. It's online. Belted back into play. Interesting. Lipinski from the pocket. It is there. Amazing. Wow. All the things that John Longmire did not want to have happen. The start of this second half. Surely a defender had to make sure that ball went through.
Doesn't have a lot of footy today. Paddy Lipinski is another player that can get involved a little more.
Well, again, we're not seeing any marks inside 50, but when the ball gets, half a foot from the goal line, that's got to get through. Sydney had that well and truly covered, spoiled it back into play. And another goal from ground level, that one from Lipinski. But that simply shouldn't happen. That close to goal, that many numbers there.
The clearances, let's see what happens here. 27-19 in favour of the Pies. This one's going to go Sydney's way. Goulden tries to keep it rocking down there. Frampton with the spoil. Got it to a 2-on-1 situation. Quainer. Warned here by Mills, and he was able to turn it around. Did it well to get it to the boundary line and disguise it. Did Isaac Quainer, boundary line your friend in that situation. James Rowbottom's, we've mentioned a few times, been superb. 15 touches for him today, but leading the way. And back a couple of weeks, they really did miss him when he was out for that 2 weeks with the facial fractures. Knocked down by Cameron de Crisp on his favoured left boot. Nice little ball here to Elliott. Stay was on, but Elliott couldn't quite get that depth. And now Elliott wanting someone to come at him. So a little sideways ball to Dacos. Had to really meet the ball, otherwise it would have been gobbled up. It was well done by Josh Dacos.
Massive numbers ahead. So the set-up kick. Cameron comes in. Schultz. Elliott claimed. Quainer. Gets out of a tackle. Lowers the eyes. Dangerous spot here for McStay. And they're like gold tonight. Marks inside forward 50. And he's a very good contested mark, Dan McStay. A couple of those in the second half could be the difference. Been a very quiet night for him too. Just the 3 possessions. He can contribute in a really meaningful way here. That is a goal. 2 in quick time for Collingwood. Game's biggest lead. Exactly the start Collingwood Football Club wanted to this second half.
Two goals in 3 minutes here to start the second quarter for the Pies.
This is just great stoppage work from Crisp on Heaney. He's got defensive side and then keeps body contact, pushes him under, gets the ball going their way. And then Dan McStay's been out for a while. Good to see him back on the field, but a great contested mark here. That's what he's been known for. He's done that years for the Brisbane Lions. A nice right foot snap.
Perfect bounce by umpire Williamson in the middle. Sensational. Side bottom with the clearance. Handball, a little sneaky underground handball. Read by McStay. Gave it to McCreary. McCreary trying to sign someone up here in the middle and finds an opportunity with Schultz. So it can be 3 goals in 4 minutes here for the Magpies as the coaching hierarchy shake their heads in disbelief.
19 possessions to 2 in this quarter.
Stay out, please. 10 metres.
Lockie Schultz from his 18 games has kicked 22 goals this year. Here he is with one dead in front. A kick of only 30 metres for the former Docker. He was running that way. He was aiming that way. Everything was pushing that way. Not sure what else he expected.
That was smart from Schultz, and he realised he couldn't have an impact of that ground ball, so he spread into a dangerous spot. Just couldn't finish off his work though.
Boy, missing by a long way. This is a concerning start though.
Just a flat Sydney.
Another inside forward 50 entry here for the Pies. And a very good mark taken by Cameron.
Put it out. Neck out.
So all of a sudden, a couple of contested marks in forward 50. We haven't seen any of those tonight. One to McStay, one to Cameron. Logan McDonald there was just too worried about Cameron. If he just played it like he would down forward, play the ball, he probably would have been able to spoil that.
To get the lead out beyond 20 points. It's working for him. It's there. Brilliant. Perfect result for Darcy Cameron and for Collingwood. 3 in a row to start this third term, and now it's 22 points.
With Logan McDonald there, his eyes just went for Cameron. He wasn't watching the ball, and he's being asked to play in a position he hasn't had to play in for his AFL career. And down forward, he would have just attacked the ball, would have tried to mark it. So it's just that different mentality when you put in a different position on the ground.
Obviously, this one is nowhere near wrapped up, but I remind you that Collingwood have the 70% on the road win record. They are amazing away from home. Rowbottom tends to excite the Swans. Pick up there by Roberts. Back very, very quickly. Little fiddly one in the middle. McLean, late whistle. Warner finds a bit of space. Florent needs a good sitting bounce. Payne has got him in the tackle. Did well. Got it back to Warner. Centering dangerous ball here for the Pies. Sydney well placed to win. Got the numbers, or have they? How? Did so well, but it's going to come back because sitting under this is Cunningham.
Did well, not an easy ball to mark. With Hill bearing down.
That was actually really good from Bobby Hill then, being able to slow him down.
Well done, Mason Cox. Back to help out.
Back on that one, JB, the Bobby Hill making that contest. Yes, he still took the mark. He was able to slow it down so Cox could work away, get behind the ball. Gave an opportunity to take that intercept mark there.
Cunningham again. Now Roberts. Touch ball. Goulden. Errol Goulden. It's going to bounce the wrong way.
Need to do something here, Sydney, before this gets out of hand for them. Vitell. They're teetering on the confidence edge as it is. The green booted Vitell. McStay elevates. Cox to Crisp. An inboard Crisp. Cunningham did well.
It's inside forward 50, Brian. I mean, Parker's probably the only guy that's looked like winning contests down there. They've got to find a winner inside 50. Do they bring Heaney on and play him deep forward for 10 minutes?
In that half-back area, Richard, they just can't get it to their best kickers, you know. Blakey and Campbell and these sort of guys need more ball in hands and be able to damage the opposition. So Blakey now gets a chance. What can he do here? Cox is in front. Double hand on. Off hands that come. Around the corner. Good-looking kick from Hayward. Sensational. Gets his second. Just in the nick of time.
It wasn't the best kick come in, but it's all McLean had to do. It looked like Cox was in a perfect position to take that intercept mark. McLean got a hand in, brought it to ground. But Hayward, he's very lively in those opportunities. Got to the front right spot, front and square. Was able to snap it round for a much important goal for the Sydney Swans.
Rowbottom goes to work. Flicks it into the path for Heaney. Absorbs the McCreary tackle. Florent in an attempt to get it back to himself. Long, and that is long. Penetrating ball. The ground balls have been so dangerous for the Sydney defence. Side bottom. And Grundy. Grundy did nicely. Howe. And Parker, a couple of veterans. Noble now.
He did well then, Jeremy Howe. He was under real one-on-one pressure then. There's Lipinski. He continued down the line. It's a risky kick to Bytel. McCartan did well. Now Florence mopped it up. Can they get something going from here? Roberts bangs it on the boot, but look at the Collingwood half-back line. It's stacked. Lipinski from Howe. Nick Dacos. Funny little kick. Off the edge of the boot, straight to Adams. Can they load and go from here? Heaney to Blakey, got it in the hands of the man they like to have. And a 50-metre penalty puts Blakey well within range. Big play here.
You can understand what Bobby was trying to do, just slide up, because Sydney did have the players on the open side of the ground. Blake was going to try and roll, but wasn't in the marking contest and couldn't interfere.
So Nick Blakey here, directly in front, to relieve a little bit of that building pressure. Biggest man on the ground on the marking, Cox, and gee, put a lot of pressure as the man on the mark. Allowed to leave the ground, jump in the air like that, Richard? As the man on the mark, I'm assuming you are. Promise you not.
Turnover to Florent.
He's a good man to have on the mark.
Some very necessary time in forward half here for Sydney. A shot of what's ahead of Florent. Good strike. Beautiful set shot. Turn the road for the home team, and they fight back. Still not seeing the run and stun, the flow, the incredible football we saw in the first couple of months of the season, but they are hanging in.
It's a different style, isn't it?
BT, you might be right here.
I reckon he jumped forward.
He did. The first couple are okay jumping up and down, but that last one he's jumped forward.
You can't go sideways or forward. But when the umpire said stand, he means stand.
Noble jumped on the last one. As long as you jump straight up and down, but
He did look to go forward a little bit there. For Sydney, back in business here now within 8 points of the Pies. Here's Elliott. Sure hands. Schultz run down from behind. Good tackle from Lloyd. Schultz didn't know he was coming. And Jake Lloyd saves the day. On the edge of the square. Big pack of players. Josh Dacos to the handball to Maynard. Maynard down to Lipinski. The run of Josh Dacos again here. The Copeland Trophy winner of last year inside. And Logan McDonald.
A good chase again then by Sydney. Just got enough pressure on, which allowed McDonald to intercept. Just put enough pressure on the kicker.
Blakey back to McDonald. He's got to be careful.
Gee, they've hemmed them in here well. Collingwood defended well tonight.
So he's got the long option. Grundy's got a couple of big men to beat out there. Let's have a look at the side angle. Is there anything forward
okay.
there?
That one there, that's 50.
The umpire was right there.
I'm not sure he put that kick off because that kick was missed by a long way.
Having said early days, you could not leave the ground early days of that rule at all.
So that's evolved a bit, has it? It has evolved.
Called into Jordan.
A lot of rules evolved.
Sydney.
They end up being not what they were first brought in for.
Bundy. The former Demon Jordan.
Collingwood just making sure City can't go through the corridor. Want to go long down the line.
McLean to jump. Adams front and centre. More hands and knees. The big man goes back and hunts it at ground level. Heaney picked it up with brilliance. Jordan closed down by Dacos.
That's what Collingwood are happy with. They've got so many numbers throughout the corridor. They're just trying to get Sydney to go long down the line as often as they possibly can. As soon as they can open up the corridor, that's where it brings their small forwards into the game.
Nick Dacos.
Holding. Sydney. Heaney. Ball's here. Heaney's kick.
Isaac Heaney's ball here.
Mason, stand. You stand. Move out there. Ned, out. Come on. Stand.
See it from that replay. And Heaney now. Looking to hit someone on the pass. Nothing there. No movement from the deep forwards either. Well, he launches a very, very high ball. Ground level ball. Warner snapped it over the shoulder.
Collingwood are doing really well defending that back 50, getting numbers back, but they are just going long into a spot a lot tonight. Sydney not seeing a lot of leading players up through the Collingwood defenders. Been pretty good at that over the journey this year.
Not sure if I saw something a minute ago, Richo. We'll wait for the next stop in play. Hoskin Elliott round the body. Elliott ground level. McStay. Long. Just got the kick away. Look out, Bobby Hill. Such a talented player. Horrible one-out matchup. Is that a wedgie just there, or
That's a wedgie.
you'd call that a wedgie, Richo?
Yeah, that's definitely
The old term.
Old school.
That's why Mason couldn't believe the free kick was against him, which in the end it wasn't.
Interesting eye you've got,
Because he knew he'd copped the wedgie. Bobby Hill. For the fourth of the term for Collingwood. Made the goal umpire work, but it's there. $14 points for Collingwood. That must be a horrible feeling for the Braden Campbells of the world to be the deepest defender one out against that man on screen.
Just a great effort there first from Jamie Elliott at ground level. He kept the ball in front of him, didn't let it get behind. McStay
was in the right spot, and then Bobby was one out. When he's one out, he rarely lets you down. They needed that because the Swans had kicked a couple in a row. 10 goals for Collingwood and 10 different goal kickers on the list. Here's Warner. We'll get out. Nice ball here to Jordan. Jordan now trying to discover something inside. There's 4 one-on-ones there. They all elevate Frampton. The handball. Heaney the wizard.
This is... See, it's that kick too often going into Sydney forward line. There's 4v4 down there. Rather than trying to hit someone on a lead, putting a block on, they're just blazing away. And that's what the Collingwood defence want. They want a high ball in so they can work together and kill it.
Blakey went with the fist where he could have actually taken the mark. This might open up for Collingwood. Schultz, good pick up. Back to Lipinski. Nice presentation to McStay. Boskin Elliott wheels around. The kick's not right. Long, take it over.
Well, they kept doing that kick that you're talking about, Hodgie, Sydney, but they've only had one mark from a tall down there for the whole game. McLean took a mark in the first quarter, haven't taken one since, so it's clearly not going to work. So they've got to find a different way to end at 50, because it's very predictable now for Collingwood.
We throw in Collingwood forward 50 here. Grundy did well. Ball forward, crisp, and a nice one-arm tackle there. Might have been the tackle King Rowbottom it was. It was beautifully executed. There's Rowbottom. Edge of the centre square. Cameron and Moore were both there, and Amati just misjudged it. And Cameron to pick it off. Now to Josh Dacos. Driving forward ball to Lipinski. Lipinski, quick release of the handball to the left-footed Chris. Chris chipping inside. Good lead. Mark taken. Good play. McStay. And McStay feels he has the distance here. And the mark at 49.
So Collingwood's last 5-6 minutes, their ball movement, being able to go coast to coast 3 to 4 times. Being able to get shots on goal.
4 goal to 2 quarter for the Pies so far. 13-point lead. This will test the distance of McStay. Kickers to the left.
He's starting to find a little bit of form, McStay, which is a great sign for Collingwood. A couple more games to go and in the hunt.
Stand!
Heaney in the front, belted away from him. Adams has got to go here. Schultz went with him. McDonald hasn't held in.
He's played 4 games, Richo, 3 of those at this level and 1 in the VFL, so 4 games back now. He's starting to find his former form, McStay.
Starting to feel it. Takes a few weeks as a marking player up forward.
Rowbottom goes to work at ground level and
come in and immediately find your rhythm and your leading patterns and your marking form.
a kick for Cameron, I suspect.
Taylor, stand. Out. Joel. Yeah, go with and stay out now. Stay out.
Side bottom.
Stand.
Dangerous in these situations. Ball in hand, steal side bottom.
There's a lot of movement, blocks going on from the forwards.
Blakey, fist away. Crisp taking the ground. Blakey gets none of that, kicks it straight up the chimney. Goulden's got to go back, side bottom. What sort of a game is Steele side bottom playing?
Most touches on the ground for Collingwood. He's coming up for his 19th. 10 contested possessions. But more importantly, he's kept Goulden to 8. Which is unheard of.
About thinking your way through it. He's thought his way through his whole career That was never, ever going to work. In fact, lucky to register a score.
I reckon he just got rushed right at the end by that whistle. He thought he had to go, rather than knowing he had a second or two after that. He had the perfect build-up, as you say, JB, and so experienced. To Marty. Shut down again. There was some good speed on that ball from Blakey, and Collingwood held it up again. Cameron, a thumping spoil. Almost through was Mills. Dacos picked off as he went to handball. It'll be lovely pick-up. Josh Dacos to Lipinski. Lipinski to Crisp. Crisp looking for the overlap. Misplaner allows the opportunity for Florent. Florent, little fiddle at ground level, wasn't clean. Noble to Crisp. Rowbottom missed him. Now McCreary's got to be clean. What a wonderful pick-up it was. Turnaround ball. Hoskin Elliott on Blakey. Blakey did well. He did well there. Not to concede the mark. Hoskin Elliott at ground level. Sydney under real pressure. Lipinski. And they'll force the ball up again, the guys.
Ready, go, please. Blood rule, guys.
We've got a blood rule. You highlighted this earlier in the game, Richard. As soon as the ball hits the ground, inside Collingwood's forward 50, they look so dangerous.
He's coming to the ruck, Colin.
Well, it's something they've always been good at. I mean, McCreary's always on the loose ball. Jamie Elliott, Bobby Hill.
Mason.
They know it too.
Yeah.
They can smell the blood in the water.
Hayden.
And we get restarted. There is McCreary. Dacos. Beautifully done. Hoskin Elliott, it was just broken up. Campbell, back to Gould. That's not going to work to McCartan. They are swarming.
And they've had 46 possessions inside their forward 50. Down the other end, Sydney have only had 26. The ground ball's well up, contested footy well up in forward 50, and the tackles. So didn't this ball belong to Dacos? He's given it to Pendlebury. Wasn't it a Dacos ball? No, it was a Pendlebury tackle.
10 metres.
To reward that effort,
Stay there, Captain.
Scott Pendlebury, 201 goals in his 401 game career. It's hung out and helped over.
There's Brody Grundy just getting patched up on the bench with that blood nose, but I'm just keeping an eye on Darcy Moore. He just went down to the rooms with the doctor. He's popped back up, so hopefully have an update on that at three-quarter time.
Richard clear to Maynard. Thanks, Zach.
Go round, Brady, stand.
Grundy. And also him stuffed up his nose.
Stand.
All that bleeding. 21 to three-quarter time. 16 points the margin here. In a good quarter for the Pies. 4 goals to 2 kicked in it. Elliott behind the tackle here from Campbell. Here's Darcy Moore as that spoke. Looks ready to go again. 1 minute in the quarter. Stoppage in the Collingwood forward end. Side bottom to Hill. Hill got boot to ball. Hill again. Another little opportunity around the corner. Kicks the goal. Bobby Hill's kicked 2 in a row for the Pies. Talk about not give up and keep going at it.
Just another manic ball, ground level, and they get after it. And it's spooking the Swans defenders down there now. Plenty of movement through the stoppage there. Look at Bobby. No one goal side of him. He just kept coming, just kept tracking it. Gee, they're super dangerous. We've talked about it all night at ground level. And again, to let Bobby Hill run through that stoppage like that, he makes you pay.
Free ball bounce. Just felt really important that Sydney held there. 16 points going into three-quarter time in a match where they've found scoring hard. felt so much better than 22. Grundy got crunched there, hence the work being done on his nose. Isaac Heaney holding free, and he'll want to go fast. Can someone take a mark for Sydney? Parker. Well done, Quainer. Sensing the danger.
That's another one of those rush kicks into their forward line, just nice and high. No kick into advantage. No waiting for the forwards to lead.
Biggest margin at any of the quarters is right now. 21 points. Couple of seconds left here. McCreary. Nick Dacos surrounded by Swans players.
Tommy McCarthy's very sore after that contest. Very proppy.
McLean. It's the work for Sydney. Crisp. Dacos. Three-quarter time siren. Collingwood by 21 points. The 5-goal to 2-quarter. And they have their noses in front at the moment. Can Sydney get back from here?
All right, three-quarter time here, folks. What a cracker of a game. That's the mighty Magpies. 11-12, 78, leading the Sydney Swans 8-9, 57. The Pies putting on, what did they put on? 5 goals, 4 to the Sydney Swans, 2 goals, 4. Pies came out strong in that third quarter. Then the Sydney hit back hard. And, of course, the Pies then retook control of the game, getting them back out to a 21-point margin as we head into the final quarter here, the SCG. Angel, how you going? Good evening, Tina, Bem, mega love, shout out. The manager is in the house. How you going, Dave? Sniper, thanks for hanging in there. Appreciate that, bruh. Adrian, Sports and Karaoke channel. He's cheering on the Pies. Don't worry about that. Addy G is cheering on the Pies for his team, Freo. Paul, thanks for coming in, mate. Hey, Paul, you can say now, you know what, I think the Pies, you know what, I don't want to jinx them either, but I think the Pies might hang on. They just looked like they were stopping Sydney's run and they were doing it pretty well. Let's just have a quick glance at the players' stats. I want to see who's on top at the moment. Matty Roberts there for Sydney is the leading disposal getter with 22. Joshy Dacos for the Pies on 21. And there we go down. You can have a quick look at your team. This is the line, folks, of their total disposals. 19. Wow, 19 each for the next 4 players. Warner, side bottom, row bottom. How's that? All the bottoms. And Dacos and Cripps. Wow-wee. There we go. Isaac Heaney, a little bit better term in that third quarter. 18 touches now, just the 3 behinds. He's had a few snaps, and thank goodness they've missed for the Maggies. There we go. We'll just roll down that because it's going to be quick. My lips are sealed, says Paul. Who did you tip, Paul? Who did you tip? Sydney or Collingwood? That's the question. There we go. There are the stats for your players. I'll just take it back up. We'll get back over to the other ones. How long have we got to go? We've still got a couple of minutes. We'll just have a look at the goal scorers. Luke Parker, Bobby Hill, Will Hayward are the multiple goal scorers on the ground with 2 goals each. Warner, Quainer, McStay, McLean, McCreary, all the Mooks. What about McFlurry? Lipinski, Jordan, Florent, Elliott, Chris, Cox, Cameron, Bytel, all singles. There we go. Let's just head back over here. Get that back live. No, it's not live yet. The commentators aren't there. What do you mean your lips are sealed? You can go for a tip. You can go for a selection. So who you think's going to win? We've had the poll so far. We've had 40 votes on the poll. 60% have gone for Collingwood. 40% have said the Sydney Swans. So far, the polls are doing well. The polls are usually reasonably accurate here. On the polls, we suggest, and people usually vote pretty correctly on that, which is good. Hopefully the poll continues and it ends right, because we want the Pies to win. Let's have a look. We're not too far away. Let's have a look at the season ladder, and of course, if Collingwood win, they are here. That's the live ladder. They've picked up a percentage 1%, I think. If this margin holds, they'll move up into 9th there, Paul. Equal 7th with the Western Bulldogs, Carlton. Of course, they've still got games to play this week. And, of course, Sydney, if they lose tonight, they're still half a game clear, as I said before. But they are in dire straits of losing that top position if Brisbane can win. I think if the other teams can win, they'll move up into second if Brisbane don't, because Sydney Swans still have that good percentage there, 123.5%. There we go. We're only a minute out of the bounce of the final quarter, so we're not too far away. We are not too far away, so stay tuned for this last quarter. It's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding. It's going to be a cracking last quarter. Hopefully the team that you support gets up and wins, or you know what? Let's just hope the Pies win, because I'm a Pies supporter. We've got Tina's a Pies supporter. Paul's a Pies supporter. Let's go for Angel as a Pies supporter as well. And of course, Addy G is going for the Pies tonight. Maybe the Sniper is too. Maybe we're all going for the Pies tonight. That would be good. And of course, we've still got a few people out there going for the Swans, but it's going to be a good game. Although it's 21 points here, the margin at three-quarter time, this game is well and truly not over yet. Not over yet. Collingwood took control of the marks inside 50. They got 10 to Sydney's only 3 marks inside 50, so we hit the target pretty well. Our tall stood up strong to stay, Cox, etc. like that, so doing a good job there inside 50, the Pies. Of course, Bobby Hill kicked a nice couple of goals in that quarter. Good to see him start to fire up for the Magpies. Get him a light, the team comes alight, and of course, still side bottom having a cracker game. Isaac Heaney needs to lift, Warner needs to lift, Parker needs to lift. All the stars for the Swans need to lift if they want to be a chance in the final quarter. But here we are, folks. We're back down onto the ground. Let's go down to the commentators as we get this final quarter underway. Go Pies.
Not too late to stay on top of the ladder. From a Sydney Swans point of view, they need to do something. Hey, don't underestimate this Collingwood side at your peril. They travel beautifully. They're not going to give up the premiership without the premiership title without a fair dinkum crack. I think they've been absolutely superb. They keep finding a way.
And with that little man right there, number 35 goes, you're always a chance.
And the big bloke next to him's been pretty good again, Darcy Cameron. So three-quarter time, 21 points. We'll see it after.
What can the gun side of all year do about it here now? Can they re-find some of that form? They're coming off a massive loss of last week, and that will have damaged their confidence significantly. Here is Hoskin Elliott. This is a fast start. Elliott's a sharpshooter. Gives it to Lipinski. Bit of a fumble for Lipinski. Handball over the top. And McStay had too much on it. So they mess it up here early in the last, the Pies. We know they're a great travelling team.
Everything about that from Collingwood was perfect, apart from the final possession to Lipinski. The good hard tackle, 3 or 4 first gives. Just that fumble there cost him a goal.
At the right end, though, is Florent. Stripped of it, Grundy. McCartan. And he's bowled over. The best tackling team in the competition, Collingwood. And they are showing it tonight.
Even at that stoppage there, though, a bit lucky to get away with it. Sydney, they had numbers streaming through Collingwood. And then some great pressure.
That's it, Ned.
So Ned Long to really make things tough for Sydney.
Here, please. Stand.
A should convert from where he is. It is good. So it's 27 points. That's 5 goals that Sydney have got to kick without Collingwood kicking another one. It's going to take some doing.
That was just good persistence from Longy. First of all, he crept up onto the sweep, but laid the first tackle. That was the second tackle there. Great attitude. They love him in the side. willing to do all the hard things, finally gets a reward for it. Great stuff, the Pies.
That's the middle we go. Grundy in the pathway of Annie. Superb ruck work, side bottom. What about this man? What about this guy? Game 329.
Stewart and Everett. Stewart intercepting now. He's had it all tonight.
Walking down opposition best players. Amazing. Cameron.
And his aerial presence in the ruck tonight, Cameron's been really good. Grundy hasn't taken a mark. Cameron's taken 7 marks now.
Going to hug the boundary line here. Cameron, as he goes down there, he'll find McStay very nicely indeed. And McStay, as Richo has pointed out, is starting to find a little bit of form. It's his 4th game back. And his knee, of course, one of those played in the VFL, the other 3 at this level. At the back door is Blakey, and all he can do is disguise the run over the boundary.
Dan, Brody. Landing here. Hands free.
Good stay in opposition to Grundy. Back of the hand from the Sydney number 4. Warner went to ground. Quain has already got one. Floating ball back. Mills the fist. McCreary. Schultz. Dacos kicks smothered. Frampton to Johnny Noble. It comes back in again and again. A big fist from Mills. Warner.
Not 15, player.
They just bash it out of there, but look at the setup behind the footy for Collingwood.
They've got a real press on the Pies, playing a forward half game at the moment.
Darcy Moore driving ball. Hoskin Elliott trying to elevate.
This is where you wonder, how can you go long down the line and get an uncontested mark? It's about teamwork up the ground. Hoskin Elliott selflessly puts a block on McCartan. McStay running uncontested mark. That's why it's good to play with blokes like Hoskin Elliott.
There's Grundy. The Rampy. Bender as he goes wide. Parker kicked a couple of goals early in the game. Noble runs out of bounds there.
That is the difference, what we're seeing tonight between Collingwood and Sydney's forward line. Collingwood are working for one another, trying to put blocks on, trying to create space for each other.
Here's the former teammates running against each other tonight. With Dacos, who's 21-20. He actually tried to keep that in. It's Dacos, didn't he? He tried to tap it.
This is the frustrating thing about the rule, is the ball's going out, he was trying to take meterage with it.
Yep. So the ball was definitely going out of bounds. He tried to slap it back into bounds, and it's deliberate. Work that out.
Warner. Looking back for him is Parker. It's emergency into this here for Sydney. Warner takes off to Mills. Now Haywood.
One of their better corridor plays tonight. Collingwood just haven't allowed that.
Takes off Haywood. And it's going to drag to the left.
Got caught in conversation with the umpire about a metre then, Darcy Moore, and didn't see the play-on situation. There's Johnny Noble, wide. Side bottom now. He wanted to push one again next year as well. McStay, what do you think about side bottom next year? It's a certainty, Richo, is it?
Oh, well.
I mean, remember you're taking Pendlebury as well.
How can he not? I mean, if he's still performing like he is, doesn't look like a man who's ready to hang up the boots, BT.
I think when you're at that age, you've got to understand, if you're going into another year, you've got to be open-minded. If there are young guys coming through, that you might have to step back and play some VFL.
Long. It's a high free from Grundy.
But until someone's pressing that doesn't happen.
If he's playing good enough football, he'll stay there. But the whole thing about building the list, bringing young guys up, is about making sure that the next guy has an opportunity.
He's just run with one of the best runners in the game all night tonight.
Free kick reversed for Parker. steal, gives away a free kick. This one's to Hayward, advantage. Goulden a long ball. Darcy Moore, so tough to beat in those situations.
He was rested for one game, I think, earlier this year. It was against Brisbane, actually. Side bottom. It's the only one he's missed. So they got him through nicely. Collingwood now definitely in a sudden death situation from now on until the end of the year, so they won't be in a position to rest anyone from here on in. They're fighting for survival. More. They actually play Brisbane next week, but first of all they've got to get over this little hurdle here off the heel of Crisp. Darren Mullane, of course, a champion Collingwood player, born 59 years ago today. Many would remember Darren in the 90s and particularly the 90 premiership. Cameron. And he tries to palm it down. Crisp. Noble's got to go. Warner. Lipinski, the 2-1s. McStay. Henry, lovely pickup. Handball to Crisp. Always under Warner pressure. Soccer off the ground by Lipinski. Elliott. Pursued, but does wonderfully well to Noble. Advances the ball, but it'll be out of bounds on the full.
Cunningham finds Logan McDonald. He's got Roberts further afield. Brilliant defending. Not only by Hoskin Elliott there, but by the players downfield. No outlet for McDonald. Their pressure is elite. Will Hoskin Elliott. Misses the lock.
18 tackles now in forward 50. That one there to Will Hoskin Elliott. Good smothering performances from the Pies. A lot to like about it.
So Sydney, perhaps Malikan to come back next week. McInerney's still a way off, and so is Patley.
And that'll allow McDonald to go forward and be comfortable where he plays well. Get on the lead. They've lacked a leading target tonight. You know McDonald does lead up with the ball carry. They're desperate for that.
And there's Darcy Moore searching. Hoskin Elliott at the back. Off hands to Elliott. Elliott through heavy traffic, trying to take him on. Cunningham did well to rip it away. Throw in deep in Collingwood territory.
52 tackles already tonight. The Pies, 19 of them inside forward 50. They are ferocious. Grundy down to Parker. Freeing up Heaney. Gets it back from Adams. Work their way through. Goulden. Can Fox get on the end of this? Maynard with him. And that's called deliberate. Anytime there's a soccer on the ball, it doesn't appear to matter how or where.
What if you were 5 points down with 15 seconds left? And what would your intent be?
It's how it's being interpreted these days, Rich Owen.
You know what I mean?
Plus, the guy knows exactly what you're
There's no part of you that would be trying to get it out in that situation.
Collingwood fans enjoying themselves here. Lunch in a very hostile house, the SCG. Win it at ground level, long.
Leave the ball on the ground.
Via Broadbent, issuing the instructions there. Cameron, Dacos, beautiful pick up Heaney. Through traffic, they need a score and they need it urgent here, Sydney. Not really deliberate. Anything the coaches can do from here, you think, well, is that done as well? They've done everything they can do.
Will Sydney continue to play a spare behind the ball whether they send it up and equalise it around the stoppage. It's equal have a few extras.
Into the front, Dacos. Ollie Florent. Moore just has to get dumped away from him. Hayward. And the ball in.
Key personnel out have just really hurt Sydney, and they've lost momentum in that time and confidence.
This is where they'll double Papley. Someone up, put him one out in the forward 50, let him go to town, see if his speed and smarts can get some goals.
Saw him out on the ground earlier before the game. He's still a week or two away. Maynard. Lipinski's hunting at ground level, and a couple are going after him. Long with a nice pickup. Dacos can't get past Blakey.
So Blakey's going to wind it up and go. Puts it into the hot spot. That's a good-looking kick. Strong mark taken. I think it's Hayward again. He'll line up for goal number 3. And just give Sydney an outside chance here. Still time, 11 and a half minutes. This will get it back to 19.
Just the difference in that kick, BT. Collingwood had numbers, Talls down the line. He's able to hook it across his body into a bit of space. It was a great mark, but he bypassed the Collingwood Talls.
So Hayward here, directly in front, kick 35 metres out to keep Sydney in the hunt here and hope they can find some explosive play on the way home. Normally very reliable. Kick on the way is good, no problems. He's kicked his third.
Hayward brings it back to just 19 points, but it looks as though Sydney are just about to roll the dice with their sub. So Caden Cleary coming in. I think it's Robbie Fox that's gone to the back of the bench.
Thank you, Abby. Sydney, you've got to rediscover that sizzle they had in the first 14 weeks. It's got to happen quickly. Off the line, Florent. Parker got there first. Now, McDonald's gone forward.
There you go, natural forward. Read the ball off the boot really quickly, playing in front. And he's just been back because of Melican being out.
He's had some issues late in games with set shots from this distance, but his team need this badly. It's on Ryan. It is there. 2 in a row, Swannies. Life back in this game. First of the night for Logan McDonald. First time he's been forward all night.
This is a massive kick at a time of incredible importance in front of this 37,000 here tonight. They are now a genuine big chance here. Plenty of time on the clock, 10 minutes.
Amazing. Luke Parker went into that last centre bounce. It was his first one for the game. Got the clearance out. Now he's back out.
McLean with the clear win here. And the clearance for Sydney. Noble outmanoeuvred here. Picked up by Florence. Handball a little sloppy.
You can see the urgency going up though in the Swans. They've got a little sniff, bit of belief.
Papley up there and Dixon McInerney.
I get the feeling Papley wouldn't be a great watcher.
No. Around the corner is Warnock. Can this work for Sydney? And almost Marty. Adams. Will kick out of the pack to Bytel. Bangs it on the wing. That'll be deliberate. Was Darcy. Close enough.
Oh, yes, he's played it. Ball to go. No, he's going to come back.
Ball, please.
What was it? A touch ball. No, he's played on the round.
So you're throwing it in?
He played on past the line. That's big. Pratt's going to go bananas. That's big. That's hand in field position back to Collingwood. Good awareness from the boundary up. Robot of this. Side bottom, help to ground. Warner picks it up. Warner bounces it through. We've got the crowd alive. They're in it now. Players are feeding from it. You mentioned earlier it was sort of a cold, sort of a night here in the crowd. The atmosphere sort of didn't feel right. Well, they've come alive. What about this, Chad Warner?
Smart from Goulden, though. Did not jump in the back with side bottom. Knocked it out. But as you said, there's going to be someone from Sydney, Richo, to step up and kick a goal like that. It'll be more likely Warner.
A few little moves from Longmire. McDonald back forward. Parker back in at this centre bounce. McLean's in at this centre bounce in the ruck. He's been there the last few times.
The last 7 inside 50s they've kicked 3 goals in 4 minutes.
Heaney's back on the ground, BT, and gone forward with Grundy.
Longmire and Cox seeing a lot of hope as well, and Craig McRae not so sure.
6-6 starting position warning. We're going to throw it up.
During that third quarter, City looked like they had no faith in what they were doing. Now they're full of belief.
Unbelievable outcome turn. 7 points with lots of time on the clock. Collingwood definitely need another goal here. Crisp around the corner. Here comes the lead of Elliott. Couldn't hold the mark. Campbell did well. Elliott likewise. Kept it alive. Did he get it to the boundary? I think he may have.
Nick Dacos has had 1 clearance in his second half after having 9 in the first.
This big pro-Sydney crowd awoken out of a slumber. Whitell, the little one. Parker. Crisp. How was that effectively disposed of? Lipinski to snap missing.
Points a good result for the Swans. Gives that ball back to them. They can try and get a quick kick in here with Blakey.
Blakey on the run. He's starting to find that movement, Richo. Cunningham, high footy, not his best kick, and that'll be a free going away of Heaney.
So now, all of a sudden, so they've got big representation forward now. Grundy's forward, Marty and McLean. You've got to get it in. They've got one
Lloyd to the left-footed. Blakey decides to shift it off with a handball this time. A little bit of a fumble there from Cleary. Now back to Lloyd. Lloyd hoists a long ball. McLean's coming at it, strong in the air. Cameron at ground level needs to get rid of it, and he does, to buy Patel, who goes out very wide, looking for McStay and missing in.
Bear hugged Cunningham.
That was one thing we hadn't seen from City much, the run from half-back from Blakey. Get that overlap.
Cameron. McStay wins a really important one-on-one.
Had a bit too much size for Blakey there. Blakey's got to play tall because McDonald's forward.
Outside 5.
Oscar Elliott's got Quainer on, uses him up.
I think Collingwood are caught in the mind of not trying to score here. I think they need another goal, Richo.
Oh, absolutely. They've got to try and score. Way too long to go.
Blakey in from the side. Elliott holding the ball. Fast ball movement here, although Heaney's in all sorts. He gets the handball away. Same can be said for McCartan. Turnover. Schultz hurried it, but they get a very deep ball in.
Isaac Heaney's very ginger to get up there. Cox got him. Great tackle. He's a big corky.
7 minutes to play. Collingwood season, you would think, would be dead if they were to lose this. Sydney trying to hang on to that top spot. Everything to play for, both of these sides. Crisp from Cox. Look at Sydney go now. Working urgently and a lot harder and a lot more ferociously. Longmire and Cox, the whole Sydney box, excited about this comeback. And why not? Crisp, ground level here. Roberts making sure he can't get the ball out.
I'd be cautious. Got Schultz just sitting off the back of the stoppage. You want to make sure someone squeezes down on the back of him.
Repeat stoppages here. Warner thumps it around the body. Cleary just on the ground with the fresh legs. Howe. Mills to come across and intercept. Quick release here. Ollie Florence away. Couple of bounces. Great smother, Cameron. McDonald goes off the ground. And Cameron now is taken in a tackle.
Well, their smothering tonight has been outstanding, Collingwood.
Just the decision from Cameron, realising coming up, putting frontal pressure on, he had more out the back. Picked it up really quickly. Smart footy.
And a boundary throw in here. A minute off the clock. Collingwood by 8. No ruckman getting anywhere near it. Florent. Picked up by Lipinski. Bottom pins the ball.
No loose players back here. You've got one-on-ones forward.
Sydney's dangerous forward end. Here's Heaney running onto a loose ball. He stiff arms Quainer from the boundary line, centering ball McLean. Hoskin Elliott saves the day with a swiping spoil. They are looking super dangerous.
We had two options there, Heaney. He could have hit up Amati on the lead, probably chose the right option. Hoskin Elliott just did well.
Last 3 seasons, the Pies have won 18 games by 6 points or less. 18. They are extraordinary when it gets tight. Parker went past it. The dangerous Warner floats it forward. Heaney!
That's why it's a weapon.
The Swans within 2 points. He's going to go around the body here, Isaac. They've kicked 4 in a row. First for Isaac Heaney. Game on.
Well, Richo, you mentioned it earlier. Warner in the middle, had plenty of clearances. Heaney's been able to push forward, hit the scoreboard, but in a tight situation. Warner's had 10 this quarter. Heaney's had 10 this quarter. Both have kicked the goal. The Sydney Guns have stepped up when they've needed them to.
14 minutes into this final quarter. Collingwood were 27 points up. We're now at the 25-26 minute mark, and they are just 2 points up. And Sydney are smashing them at the moment. Mills with a high ball. Payner's not sure whether to attack or stay back. Picked up by Howe. Gave the little one off here to Long. He dribbles it along the ground. Cox has got it all to do against Rampy. Did well. That'll almost be deliberate. The umpire says, yes it is. Umpire down the field said pay it. Tough one to pay. In the meantime, Rampy launches. Now it's all down to Darcy Moore. Gee, I think it got a bit of a falcon out of it. Will that be a deliberate? It was the same as the other one. Yes, it will. Gee, you can't keep it in without it being deliberate these days.
Amati. It gets beyond him. And thumped away from McDonald, but it's at the right end. All right. What's your decision?
I think the more definitely. The Cox one,
I reckon Cox is trying to keep it alive a little bit.
He's 210 centimetres.
Forward 50 stoppage for the Swans. Frampton.
So you've got Callum Mills back now, the experienced man behind the footy. He's keeping everything in shape. How did Collingwood get out of this?
Golden! Golden! They're in front! He has been held all night, Errol Golden. But when it mattered most, this star rises.
They've smashed them around the clearances in this last quarter. Warner 4, Heaney's had 3. Parker, he's got involved.
No, there was just the confusion. Heaney and Gordon worked together. Sideline for the first time tonight has actually left Gordon. Mixed communication with Plano, which keeps Gordon. We know how good he is. Gave him a little bit of space and unleft footage. We know how deadly it is. Well, huge goal.
All of the stars have risen in the last quarter when they needed them. It's been incredible. They look gone. They looked listless. They did.
27 points up they were at the 14-minute mark. Collingwood, there is the live ladder. That's what it looks like with Sydney back on top and not looking under so much stress as they were at the start of this last quarter. Collingwood now understand that they have to score. McCreary came but missed the tackle. Another opportunity on Mills. Collingwood have got the message. They are coming hard. Logan McDonald with a little bit of a fumble there. And we'll have a ball up in the middle, or will we? An extraction by Dacos. Bytel, fast hands. Got it to Crisp. Crisp along the ground. Elliott's got it on the boundary line. Elliott goes for the all or nothing. And he misses.
Gee, that was amazing by Dacos there on the wing. Didn't give up on that pack situation. Somehow extracted it out. Nearly resulted in a goal. That was out, surely.
Yeah, 100% was. If that had gone through, goodness me.
Sydney's stoppage work has been excellent this quarter. Kicked 4 goals from stoppage just this quarter alone.
And Collingwood crushed down here. And
they certainly have.
Hemmed them in.
They've wrapped it all up. He's going to have to go long.
Heaney in the air. Oh, wow. What a quarter this young man has played. Cunningham. 3 minutes left. It's only 3 points.
Joey Collins has been in this position so many times over the last couple of years. They know what to do when their back's against the wall.
Got all their tools down the line here.
Lloyd with a long one. Amadi to jump. Got the fist in.
Isn't that's as deliberate as anything. That's all Amadi wanted to do. You can do it in that situation, though.
So 2:47 remaining here. Wow. 5 consecutive Sydney goals has seen them come from a pretty well impossible position, lacking in unbelievable confidence, to all of a sudden looking world beaters. McCreary to Schultz. Schultz back inside, looking for a little opportunity. McCartan went hard. Parker did the job. Rampy as well. If this gets out the back, Collingwood could be in real trouble. Hayward's got it. Little opportunity. Wonderful pick up on the man at the moment, and Heaney got it back into Warner. Warner, long handball to Gordon. Gordon comes alive. Out wide to Lloyd. He's being chased and corralled. And Howe gets it over the line with a nice disguise.
They've put Logan McDonald back behind the footy again, BT. He went forward, kicked that goal, don't forget, now he's gone back.
Huge stoppage right here. Cameron. Grundy, McCreary busted through. Can't get past Warner. Goal.
So what do the Swans do now? They've got players behind the ball. Do they try and chip it around, or do they just go long down the line?
Cameron.
That's a big mark.
He's been
That
enormous.
is huge.
He has been enormous, Darcy
They're
Cameron.
pointing through the corridor. They were long through the middle.
It's where he goes. Mason Cox to fly. Fisted away from him. Schultz gets a nice handball to Pendlebury. Vitale. Crisp. Dacos. Schultz. Broken up by Jordan. And Heaney has been unbelievable.
This is one of the great last quarters from Heaney. He has done everything.
14th disposal in the last quarter.
Contested marks, clearances.
Clock continues to tick here now after a little bit of time off. Heaney goes wide, trying to defend towards the boundary line here. So now they've got a stoppage in neutral territory. Vitale comes off the ground, coming onto the ground as the sub Richards, who's been activated. So Collingwood have got 47 seconds to do something. The sign for 1 minute is being held up. Both benches. It's all or nothing here for the Pies.
Josh Dacos.
Sydney have come from nowhere. Dacos off the stoppage. Kick's got to be good, and it is to McBurn.
That's 50.
McStay. Gee, it is just about 50. High ball inside. Defended here well by Sydney. There's the sub taking it over the boundary line with 28 seconds left. Wow, was this 50 for going over the mark?
Over.
28 seconds remain. Collingwood have freakish ability to win these games. Tap to Blakey. Blakey tumbles it forward. Parker. Amati. A 2v1. Haywood. He's got Heaney out. That could be your game right there. It is. Seconds are going to tick down. The Sydney Swans have kicked 5 in a row to come from the clouds. Astounding finish. 27 points down, midway through that final term. Season reignited for the ladder leaders. Some of those final quarters, unbelievable. Warner, Heaney, Goulden, just extraordinary.
I swear at three-quarter time you looked at their faces in the huddle, JB, and you thought, geez, I don't think they can get going here. There just didn't seem to be the energy there, but
when Warner steps up, when Heaney steps up, that's all the better quarters I've seen.
Heaney did everything in that last quarter. Everything you can do in a footy game, he did. Contested marks, clearances, contested possessions, inside 50s. Unbelievable quarter.
And Warner was nearly as good. We spoke before the game how he had dropped off since about round 16 or 17. Tell you what, if that doesn't boost him back up, if that doesn't give him confidence, going to a big finals campaign.
Let's get down to you, Abs.
Isaac Heaney, what a game, what a finish. I can see the pride written all over your face, but just talk us through that final quarter.
It's a funny one too. It's actually a bit emotional, to be honest. Like, it's one of those, you always get patches throughout the season where you got to grind for it. And obviously the last sort of month, 6 weeks has been a bit like that. And they're a quality side, they're in good form, and we knew it was going to be tough. And proud of the boys. Like, plenty of belief in the group. Hopefully we can start to roll into the end of the season nicely now.
What was the spark when you kicked the last 5 of the game? I mean, your midfield went full beast mode. You had 7 clearances in the fourth quarter alone. But what was the spark that, I guess, ignited the group and ignited this crowd here at the SCG?
It's just that we've always got that belief. Last week was a bit of an flyer. Doggies, obviously, they got on top of the contest, and we knew we just had to dig deep and make a bit of a scrap. And I think the conditions probably helped with that, and we've just got that belief within the group, and hopefully this is, I'm sure this is, it's a good life little roll into the end of the season.
Take us within the four walls throughout the week. I mean, 112-point defeat. I think everybody across the competition knew how unlike Sydney that was, but how did you reflect on the review as a playing group in particular?
Yeah, writing history books for the wrong reasons. But I think it was one of those ones we just needed a good reset. We had a period where we were under the pump, and a few of us probably not up to standard with where we wanted to be contest-wise, and I think that's where we stripped it right back. You know what, we need to match these guys in the contest and focus a bit more on us, rather than getting dictated to. So that's where the last week's been, and it's proven. It took us a while to get going, but it was nice to finish it strong.
I'm going to let you go and soak this up because you're absolutely pumped, and rightly so you should be. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
Well, Friday Night Footy on Fox, it's brought to you by Mustang Mackie, and I tell you, this was one of the last plays of the game, might be a questionable one about whether Tom McCartan might have gone over the line here.
We're going to get to
it. We will get to it. Let's just celebrate the Sydney Swans, because in this extraordinary season, we've had another extraordinary result, boys. It was a mirror image of last week. The only difference was that Sydney got over the top of them. They gave up the first goal of the last quarter. So Collingwood kicked the first goal through long. They get out to 27 points. It was 32 last week. 5 unanswered. It was 5 unanswered last week. The difference this week is they hang on the back of super. There's a reason you call them superstars.
Superstars, absolutely. Here's Howie getting chaired off in his 250th game. What a great player he's been since crossing over from Melbourne, that's for sure. Unfortunately, didn't end the same as Pendles' milestone last week, Gus.
It was tracking very similar. They might have just hung on, but in the end, the Sydney Swans, the character, you can take your time and unpack this, because I don't think the crackers are coming in, so we'll sit here and talk about it, and the way they were able to find a way to win, it's just unbelievable. Magpies' defence of their premiership is probably over. I know that things can happen, but let's just celebrate this team, because they come off 112-point belting. For much of the night, they were as plain as a Murray biscuit. They could not get anything happening. And then what happens is the chocolate got poured over it by Heaney, Heaney and Warner, with a bit of sprinkling of Parker
into the centre square, yeah. They didn't look like it, did they?
Plain.
But isn't that our season? Isn't that our season? When teams don't look like it, but then they can light up, especially the good teams, and Sydney obviously showing they've got that class.
So where's it come from? Because obviously they've had that solid week. They've done the coaching. They've come out. They look all right early, but then Collingwood just grind them out. Very similar last week. They grind them out, get to the position, play better footy, better structured footy, make it hard to move the ball. And then all of a sudden, Sydney, out of nowhere.
Where it came from, and this is not analysis to win any awards, it came on the back of two blokes who just said, we are out-and-out superstars. We carried you for most of the first 14 games. We've been down. And the last quarter, they said enough's enough. 15 possessions and a goal to Heaney, 14 possessions and a goal to Warner. End of story, they win the game.
But, I mean, this is what we asked for. We asked them to embrace the grind, and they did for 3 quarters. And they were 21 points down at 3-quarter time. And then that's your moment. So you speak about the stars. One part of it is to realise when the moment presents itself, and then to be able to step up and compete. They looked clunky in the first 3 quarters, but they hung in there. All those big moments, even the Warner tackle when McCreary was breaking through, such a big moment without the ball. But Heaney's last quarter was he was everywhere.
These are the 4th quarter moments. So McDonald hasn't been able to kick that goal post.
He's forward,
So he goes and slams that through after being moved forward. The Hayward mark, I know, was a fantastic mark on the back of a magnificent golden kick, I think it was. Then Chris lets Warner go from one contest to the next, and Warner is able to find a way. At this stage, they're starting to roll. This bloke continues on his merry way, and then it's Heaney. He takes the contested mark. So all of a sudden, you're cream at taking you where you need to go, and then it needs to be finished, right? So you've got your chocolate biscuit now. It's not a Murray biscuit, but then it needs 100
We're nearly
ice boat.
And here's the hundreds and thousands. Here it is.
Where's the Monte Carlo?
Bang! And so the last 3 goals of the game, symbolically, Warner, Heaney, Goulden, bang, game over.
And it wasn't just their finishing either. We saw a great tackle from Gordon. We saw a great tackle from
This is
Warner.
the 23 tackles, Bucks.
What do we reckon here? It's hard to call, isn't it?
Play on.
He was going back. The umpire had called him back. He was going back, I think, when he played him.
Yeah, he's going back. I agree. He was
But
listening
he wasn't
to the
playing
instructions.
he was calling him back.
No, yeah, he was saying, come back off the mark, and he was heading back, and then he arced around. But
Which you're allowed to do as a player.
no, I
If
think
you're
it's fine.
following, yeah.
So the adjudication is that he wasn't able to slow down after the mark was
I think so.
taken.
I think so.
You can't put the
And the
boats
ball
in so quickly, yeah.
symbolically ends in his hands. And what about this? I mean, for most of this game, they were up against it, and all of a sudden you're thinking about last week, you're thinking about, I thought we were going to get a response, we didn't quite get the response we were after, all of a sudden it's 27 points early in the last quarter, and then you're winning.
We got Isaac Heaney in his interview. Bit emotional, to be honest. We had to grind it out. We had a good reset, and we had to match him in the contest. So that was all of the things that we were speaking about. And in the end, it has to be done. So that's what the last quarter looked like. Their pressure rating was through the roof. They started dominating clearance, very similar to what Carlton did at the end of the last.
They played a bit tight, Bucks. Does that add to that? So
No
they
doubt.
look energised. They played a bit tight in the first three quarters. The team that's under huge pressure.
Heaney hit the post on the goal he'd normally kick, and then missed the snap that he'd normally get. But in the end, like last quarter, they were sticky. His hands were sticky, and he was taking marks he was missing early in the game.
It was a
And
run.
it looked like it started to flow.
Let's have a look at these teams, boys. So you get an idea of how long a week is in footy. 6 days ago, they're walking off the Adelaide Oval, just an embarrassment, really. And their supporters have come along tonight. They said it was a sellout. Didn't look like it, but look at this. This is what footy's about. This is a team who, for most of the season, have been penciled in as grand finalists, if not premiers. And the doubts that would have crept into that, maybe they didn't creep in.
Is
Maybe
this the spark, Gav?
Could be, yeah.
Well, we've seen it before, but is this the spark that they were searching for? They were looking for it. It just seemed to happen in the last quarter organically.
The last quarter for those three boys. And let's not muck around. The stars are what separate them. Without them, they're just a good, honest, toiling team.
Don't undersell Parker, though. I know you and rightly so.
You can add him into that mix.
All right, folks, there we go. Full time at the footy here at the SCG, and the Swans came home with a big win. Of course, thanks to the umpires, it should have been a 50-metre penalty, which would have given Collingwood a shot 10 metres out in front of goal, which would have snared the goal and snared the win for the Pies. But who knows? The umpires, they seem to be on Sydney's side in that last quarter to get them across the line. But there we go. That's a whole different story. Came back with a good run, of course. Their guns, Heaney and Warner, did the job in the last quarter for the Swans. They kicked 5 goals, 2 in that last quarter of the Swans, to the Magpies, 1 goal, 2. Full control were the Swans in that last quarter. The Pies just couldn't get their hands on the ball enough to do anything about it. So let's have a look. And of course, the guns for Sydney, Chad Warner and Isaac Heaney, lead the table in the leading disposal getter for the end of the match. Chad Warner there with 33, 17 kicks, 6 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles, 8 clearances. Isaac Heaney had a big last quarter as well. I think he was the difference. Definitely Isaac Heaney in that last quarter that got him across the line. 32 touches for him, 19 kicks, 13 handballs, 6 marks, 3 tackles, 7 clearances. Had a good game. Best for the Magpies was Josh Dacos with 26, Matty Roberts, Nick Dacos both with 25, Nick Blakey with 24, and down we go. We'll just keep going down and down. Luke Parker only with 14, so he had a quiet game. One of the guns there for Sydney, just with 14. 7 kicks, 7 handballs. He kicked a couple of goals, 5 clearances. So next week will be another good game for him. I think Sydney might have, maybe started to regain a little bit of form. They just certainly brought that pressure, which was up to about 207, so that was pretty elite pressure in the last quarter, which they've been lacking for the past few weeks. Brody Grundy with 13, 38 hit-outs. Big game from him tonight. Ned Long, 13, Maynard, 13, Darcy Moore, 12. Armony for the Swans here at 11. We'll keep going down here. There we go. All right, let's go and check out, have a look at the goal scorers for the match, where they laid. All right, so we had the top goal scorer for the evening's game. Will Hayward for the Swans kicked 3 goals from his 11 kicks. Chad Warner, Luke Parker with 2 each. Bobby Hill with 2 for the Pies. Isaac Heaney, McLean, McDonald, McCreary, Ned Long, Lipinski, Jordan, Heaney, Goulden, Florent, Jamie Elliott, Jack Crisp, Mason Cox, Darcy Cameron, and Jack Bytel, all were single goals. There was a lot of goal scorers there tonight. Of course, we had 25 goals kicked for the evening in total. Over to the fantasy points there, Isaac Heaney with 127, Chad Warner 114, Darcy Cameron 108, and the rest under 100. The team stats, let's have a look at that. Pretty even there in disposals, 321, 336. Kicks, it was about 20 to the Pies. Handballs went to the Swans. Inside 50s, well, they ended up with 49 each. Disposal efficiency, 68, 66, both pretty even. Efficiency inside 50, Magpies 57. Swans 51, they lifted their efficiency inside 50, definitely in that last quarter. Free kicks, well, just have a look at that. The home team, Sydney Swans, the ones the AFL want to get into the finals, the grand final, of course, 26 free kicks to 15 to the Magpies, and of course that last one of the match that should have been a free kick and 50-metre penalty certainly cost Collingwood victory tonight. Stoppages 47 apiece, clearances pretty well even, centre clearances Sydney Swans by 4, stoppage clearances even 31-32, contested possessions even, uncontested even, and the turnovers not much difference there, 65 to 56. Heading down to the marks, Magpies by 8. Marks inside 50s, 10 to 6 to Collingwood. Sydney got 3 in the final quarter from memory. Contested marks, not much difference there, 10 to 14. Both tackled well. Inside 50 tackles, Sydney Swans did lift in the last quarter, 20 to 11, Pies way that way. And the 1%ers, the Sydney Swans did a lot more in that. What's that now say for the AFL ladder? And that now means that the Sydney Swans are on top and a game and a half clear, where they look like they were going to lose top position after this weekend. But with that barnstorming finish in the last quarter, the Sydney Swans will remain on top after this week, a game and a half clear now. And what that means for Collingwood, I think that now means that their season is done and dusted. They're now a game and percentage outside of the 8, possibly 2 games and percentage out with only 2 rounds for them to play. So that is unfortunate for all the Collingwood supporters out there tonight, but the Swans supporters will be happy. Probably not so much happy are the Brisbane, Port Adelaide, these teams here, because they were looking to chase down the Swans there as well. The poll, we had the poll tonight. Of course, we had 52 votes in there. Collingwood 53%. Sydney Swans 46%. So it was pretty level there as well, folks. It was pretty level there as well. So I want to thank everybody for coming in. This was another fantastic close game, Friday night football here in Australia. AFL football, there we go. The Swans getting the job done, 13-11-89 to 12-14-86, the Magpies. The Swans victors after some weeks as the losers. So I'll be happy in Sydney tonight. All right, folks, we'll be back tomorrow for the next game. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. If I can bring up those games, I'll let you know what games we're in for tomorrow. And those games will be... We've got the first game kicking off tomorrow, which will be the Brisbane Lions versus the Giants. 2nd versus 4th. And, of course, North Melbourne and the Eagles. We'll cover the Brisbane and Giants game. Don't worry about that. And then straight after that, we've got the Fremantle Dockers versus the Geelong Cats, 6th versus 5th. Big game for both of those sides. And then, of course, we have either Essendon or the Gold Coast Suns or Melbourne and Port Adelaide. So we'll decide which one of those games we will do tomorrow night. Coming up on Sunday, 3 more matches on Sunday. That's Carlton and Hawthorn. Big match for both sides. The winner will probably cement their spot in the top 8, and the loser will struggle this year, especially if it's Hawthorn, who are sitting 10th on the ladder. They're a little bit like Collingwood. They need to win. Carlton need to win to stay in the top 8. And then we've got Richmond versus St Kilda. 18th versus 14th. Well, they're just playing for pride, and I think St Kilda will win that one very comfortably. And, of course, the last round of the matches, the Adelaide Crows versus the Bulldogs, 15 versus 17 at the Adelaide Oval. That should be a pretty good game as well. But that wraps it up for tonight. Until we come back for the big match tomorrow, the Brisbane Lions take on the GWS Giants. 2nd versus 4 at the Gabba in Brisbane. Should be an absolute cracker. All right, folks, that's all I've got. I'll mute myself. I'll leave the scoreboard up for a couple of minutes for any latecomers in who want to come and check the score. Till next time, thanks everyone. Ciao for now, and we'll see you in the next live. And appreciate everyone for coming in. Friday Night Football.